Wheeling dealing, limousine riding, jet flying, son of a gun, and I'm having a hard time holding these alligators.
You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, willing dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairing on them niggas. We Ric Flairing on them niggas. You talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, willing dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairing on them niggas. We Ric Flairing on them niggas. It's apparent these girls staring. I'm Ric Flairing, gold across my chest. I'm fresh to death, I'm Paul Bearing, not at all scary. When I open like Betty Wops and find to these circles that's going in like a carry shot. Woo! I'm going in like a Mary Pop off that Mary crop at the top flow at the Marriott. So questioning me is like questioning you. See, we the best dressed, so come and get blessed with the crew. Not one but two, different ways to slaughter your crew. Committed tat across the chest, I guess she blessed with the truth. People want to see them checks, representation of proof. Living through my elders, trying to resonate to the youth. But ain't nothing to get my flash on. Longevity is heavily embedded in my melanin. Layman terms, I last long. My grind repetitive, I'm smoother than real silk. Lyrical cash cow who can't cry for spilled milk. We in here. You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, willing dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairing on them niggas. We Ric Flairing on them niggas. You talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, willing dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairing on them niggas. We Ric Flairing on them niggas. This ain't no normal situation, this preparation with greatness. Industry full of fakeness, it's really up for the taking. See, life is what happened to you, more so how you take it. Don't get stripped of your knowledge and mentally leave you naked. I like to live otherwise. I'm sorry that I'm fresh to death. I put the polo and apologize. See, Black Sun, we ain't nothing like the mother guys. Quit to socialize, we organize, then we mobilize. Off the deep end like a scuba diver. And no confusion, just keep it pushing like Uber drivers. Woo! Business fresh just like a supervisor in a Gucci visor. Can't find a smoother rhymer. You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, willing dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairing on them niggas. We Ric Flairing on them niggas. You talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, willing dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairing on them niggas. We Ric Flairing on them niggas.
Yeah, DQ baby. Shout out that boy Nigga for that fire track. Hey, Black Sun, sun up. What's up, Vinny Vegas? What in Vegas? Yeah. Shout out Pharaoh's Kids, B-Phase, yeah, Bubba C, yeah, Ric Flairing on them, Ric Flairing on them, Ric Flairing on them, Ric Flairing, son up, baby.
Yo, Scotty, you going crazy for this one. We see what you're doing, we salute you. Hey, let's get it started. It's Backpack Capital One. What's in your wallet? Got a call from my man A. Scott. I said I got it. Love that you highlighting all of these black colleges. Try to pay me for doing this. Look, bruh, if you don't get off my line with that foolishness, voice of the Swac, pull up where you at, no cap. If the Brody is speaking the soft facts. My advice, tune in to every show. Captain Petty, but we know that the sergeants are with the smoke. Speculate, just tell me what is we doing. Get into it, okay, look, I'ma say this and keep it moving. My boy Scotty, man, he offered the least. Black grad, paying college, I'm glad that he called me. Walk it, cause we all been taught that talk is cheap. Even primetime knows Scott for the HBCU streets.
What is going on, everybody? It's your boy Scotty, and you're watching OFFScript. Appreciate you guys for tuning in for the Afterglow with me and my co-host Kofi Hemmingway. All right, listen, real quick, because I gotta pay some bills. You know what I'm saying? I got kids. You know what I'm saying? I got a lot of kids, so I gotta pay these bills. All right, so make sure you tune into the podcast. All right, on Apple and Spotify. Make sure you leave a review. don't be that guy. Just go leave a review. It's not that hard. All right. Also, in the description below, if you want to become a member of the channel, go ahead and support the channel. It's 3 tiers, 3 layers. Anyone is much obliged. So I appreciate you that. All right. Without further ado, Mr. Strike Bowl Gutter again is back in the building. Please give it up for my co-host, Mr. Kofi Hemmingway. What's going on, Mr. Kofi?
Let's go, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How about yourself? I'm doing
good, man. Thank you for asking. I appreciate you. Like them shirts in the background there.
Listen, my girl was like, "Don't you got a FAMU shirt?" I said, "I do have a FAMU shirt from the Orange Blossom Classic." She said, "Why you don't put it up?" I said, "I will. I surely will." So I was like, "Let me give them the respect that they do. They need to get on the wall as well." So
absolutely,
get ready for the Orange Blossom Classic for next year. Get that set up.
It's gonna be crazy.
Now you already know what. Listen, you know the headline we starting with. You already know what it is. Breaking news by Swac and a Fool. Southern hires coach Eric Dooley. Your thoughts? Yeah, what you talking about?
I'm being silly, just playing. Go ahead.
Your thoughts and grade on this hire.
All right. So Dooley is a good coach. He's proven himself to be able to run a pretty good program, maintain it. He's beaten Grambling multiple years in a row. He's one of Pete Richardson's proteges. I think it's a good hire for Southern if, everything that they're saying in regards to his recruiting prowess in the Louisiana area is true. That being said, knowing the other people that went out for this, I still have a bunch of questions in terms of how this went down. I get it. Pete Richardson spoke, and much of Jaguar Nation really does like Eric Dooley. I would give the hire right now. I want to say B-, but I'm going to give them a B. I'm going to give them a B. And the reason is, the man did get to the Swac championship game. He did maintain the Prairie View brand. He's familiar with the Southern University fan base. He apparently wants to be there because this deal had to have been there for a long time for it to be, really to this point. I just really would have liked to have seen what may have occurred with Kevin Sumlin, but guess what? Sumlin may end up at Prairie View, so we shall see exactly what's going to happen in regards to that.
If I gave the Alabama State hire a C-, I can't go anything lower than that. That was a real estate agent. So I gotta give it a B with you. I'm on the B bandwagon, and honestly, and a lot of Southern alums or Southern Knights, I don't know what they call themselves.
Right. Southern Knights.
Southern Knights. All right. So a lot of Southern Knights, they've been hitting me up, and they're really on the bandwagon of him recruiting Louisiana as well as he can. The coaches that he knows, a lot of his former players that he's coached are head coaches at other positions at some really big schools, some really small schools. So he has a network of people that he can contact that will give him a leg up in recruiting. I just don't know how much it pushes the needle. Like
it's not going to push the needle until they actually perform. And that's just the honest to God truth. They have an early signing period coming up next week. And then right after that, come February, he's got to hit it out of the park, with everything that everybody's saying. I would like to see them at least get a top 25 class. I want to see it. It's a lot. I know the staff has a lot to do with it. And Southern wasn't a bad team last year. Here's my deal. Like with Dooley, sometimes coaches really have to hit that right spot. Jimmy Johnson was quote unquote a mediocre coach when he was at Oklahoma State. he got the UM, and the rest is history. He took his lumps, but he got that University of Miami program to a place where they were consistently playing for championships. And the expectation definitely was championships. Maybe that's the case with Dooley. And what's funny is it's just appearing, if I'm a Prairie View person, I'm like, okay, is my job a darn stepping stone job for somebody else in the conference? Because, Frazier was there, left. Willie Simmons was there, left. Dooley was there, left. And even though they have great facilities and they're right there in Texas, people are leaving. And so that, in my opinion, I'm kind of like, why are they leaving, with the number of things that they have in their favor, what's the big deal? Or why is everybody so quick to jump ship?
I think from what I've seen over just this season, to have a winning program in the program still not come out and support, to me, that's just a bad look on. That's a bad look on the school. That's a bad look on the football program of the school and the support that it has. I mean, you're winning, you're successful, you have a good team, putting up points. I mean, all type of situations where you would think that would invigorate the fan base, but it never seemed to do that. So, I mean, is it a stepping stone? It could be such, because I mean, like, you're as a fan watching the team, you want to win. Like, you want your team to be successful. So why there's no support behind it while being successful is like, why the hell am I here? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, I don't know. It's a weird culture you have a successful team that's doing well.
And it's something in the water in Texas, because the same thing happens at Texas Southern, outside of basketball, and that, they've got that nice little stadium that they play in, but I've yet to see it filled, and Houston has a huge African-American population, as does the Dallas area. A lot of colored people are in that area right there. So, I would like to see Prairie View's fan base, but there are a lot of different layers when it comes to that.
Yeah.
But at the heart of the issue, for me in this day and age, knowing the things that are at stake, knowing that your department needs revenue, for me, for the Prairie View fan base, you got to step up. You got to get an identity, and really, I'd like to see the rest of the Swac, outside of your, Southern does great with their fan base. They are rabid. Jackson State, obviously, FAMU, Alcorn. But after that, maybe Bama State. I can't even say that Alabama A&M goes to their games outside of classics. And Huntsville has a lot of Black people too. It's just kind of like disappointing. It's like, all this pageantry that we talk about, and the only thing you have is a band, but you'll go to Dallas and go to a game. I'm just like, wow, not cool.
Hey, shout out to Texas Southern, about to pull up a major upset in basketball today from the SWAC. Hey, listen, the Texas Southern said we don't care about football, but basketball, we do this, okay?
Let's go.
Respect. Next up, is the SWAC just doing lazy hires? Because and this is why I say that, Kofi, because Grambling is using a firm to bring in their next head coach. That takes to, and listen, I'm not, like I said, I don't know everything about everything, but to me, that takes the nepotism out of it to a certain extent, because you're opening the pool. The firm is like, hey, I don't know much about these guys. We're just taking the best qualified candidates for the position. And from there, then once we gather up the best candidates, then the nepotism might come into play, because, the school president, whatever, got to make the decision. But you're, at the end of the day, you're using a firm to get a general basis of who wants the job, who wants to come in. I feel like a lot of the Alabama State hire, the Southern hire, they're just going with the simple of the Southern hire is a safe pick. To me, that's the safest you can go. I went with a former coach here, a graduate here. He's won the Swac this, Swac that. He has Swac this, and I feel like they just it's too easy. Roman Bakes, he might get a little pushback because Kevin Sumlin was interested in the job, but he's not going to get the major pushback that an Alabama State would get because he's not a real estate agent. Listen. The worst you can do is if the man was selling insurance. And that's the worst. That's even lower than that. Nobody loves an insurance salesman.
Bruh, come on, man. All right, so going there with the lazy eye, I wouldn't say that it's lazy, especially at Southern, because they have to do their due diligence. And I wouldn't say that they are lazy. I wouldn't say that the Bama State was necessarily a lazy hire. What I will say is it was a very mediocre hire. And if I'm really going to be, I want to say cutting edge, and I want to say playing radio, I think it was a dumb hire considering who was available for that particular job. I'm all for hiring the right candidate if that candidate has shown an ability to coach. You know, I can't personally argue too much with Dooley because Dooley has a winning record. He's been on championship teams. He's coached them. He understands the area. He has a pretty strong resume. He has ties. All of those things are basically it. Just my problem with it is not as sexy because they lost the last 4 games. Now, I felt like they played a good game on Saturday. I think that they were in a winning position, but you know, again, that opening kickoff, you know, you take that away again, the pick 6 for the touchdown, you know, that really changed the whole complexion of the game. And it's not totally indicative of how Prairie View played, but that's what happens in big games. Special teams makes a play, your defense steps up, you know, all of that stuff comes into play. And, you know, unfortunately, they lost 4 and they lost to Cookman. So, you know, it's 4 straight. It's 4 straight. Now, to factor that in, I'm sure that his team also had win that, you know, hey, coach and them, they're talking about going to Southern University, man. You know, like, what's up with that? You know, you start hearing those rumors and those different things that are going on. I mean, really, after they beat the snot out of Southern University, that team started to slip. They started to slip.
They did.
So my intuition is just telling me that right after that game, the Southern University crew was like, hey, we want you to be our next coach. Straight up. And
it's probably how it went down. Listen, I was making jokes to some people. Like, he had his bags packed right after the game. Office was already packed up. Plane already booked. He was headed back to New Orleans. He was headed back to Baton Rouge. It was a done deal. My thing is this. When I say lazy hire, is that you're going with the familiar. I want to be very specific when I said you're going to something that's familiar. Now, once again, I keep telling people it's a difference from being an offensive coordinator than being a head coach.
Absolutely.
You can be a great OC and not a great head coach. They are mutually exclusive.
Right. Now, one of the things that I want to say is I want to give my ADs a little bit more credit from the standpoint of when stuff like this goes down. Southern had an interim, I want to say, going into the fall, and they put that interim hire on that man for a reason because they really and truly wanted Dooley last year. You know, they had Ed Reed inquiring about it. So this is something that I know that he gave his level of thought to, you know. For me, again, until our HBCUs get away from that, I want to say that whole good old boys, you know, that group that runs the university that you don't really see, you know, until we get rid of the Southern Illuminati, you know, the people behind the scenes that, you know, threaten to kill people, be doing all kind of stuff, running stuff without a title and not getting no check, you know. until those people get out of the way, you're going to see more of the same. For me, if I'm an AD, my thing would be I'm going to hire somebody that has a record. Now, a Deion Sanders, there's only one. There's only one Deion Sanders. Now, outside of Deion Sanders, I want to say I like Rod Woodson's name. I like his pedigree. I think that he would put together a great staff, right?
Mm-hmm.
I know that he has the passion, watching him play. I would want to see, but I would talk to the man, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Ed Reed would get a little bit more juice, just because I've seen him coach. I know, having talked to players, talking to this next generation that's coming up, what they think about Ed Reed.
Mm-hmm.
And his ability to communicate and galvanize and get a group of young men to do the same thing. I have no doubt that those boys would run through a wall for Ed Reed, and the same thing for Ray Lewis. Now, after that, obviously, when Tom Brady does retire, somebody, maybe the University of Michigan, if Harbaugh is screwing up, may want to hire, Tom Brady to be a coach if he wants to coach. People like that, you kind of like, bruh, yeah. But, Peyton Manning's from Louisiana. Let me stop. Okay, so
wow. Wow.
Right. So thinking about it, I would go with a coach that has a winning record. Your guy that's at the D2, Ruffin, that's at Miles, that built that program, I feel like he would be a strong hire. The guy that's at Bowie State would be a strong hire. For me, even though I'm an HBCU, I'm talking to the guy at West Florida. I'm talking to the guy at Valdosta State to gauge their level of interest, because not only have they won in a tough conference, but they're winning playoff games, and they've shown a propensity to win big games on a larger stage, and they've shown an ability to develop talent.
Let hold on. Okay, so this is my thing. If I was a white coach, are you going to give me the same leeway you give a Coach Dooley? You're not. It's no different than if you was in a Power 5 and a black head coach comes up and he's on a short leash more than a white coach. I think if I'm a white guy, it's the same. To me, it's the same reverse look at. Like
Hobson, I kind of disagree with you. And here's the reason why. Like, Hobson got a long leash at Alcorn. I want to say that not only Hobson, but even Gabe Giardini, who's at Albany State, has proven to be a solid hire. Even the guy that's at Savannah State that just recently left to go to Virginia Tech, he was a solid hire for that school, and Savannah State got another white guy to be their coach. So I think that we HBCUs, black people, are more lenient and open to stuff like that, as opposed to the white people on the other side.
I don't agree.
And the reason why I say that is I see, like, my boy Willie Taggart, who was at Florida State. I mean, his lease was like this. Even though Jimbo screwed up the program, that was the one thing that I think that made Florida State gun-shy about hiring Deion.
My thing is this. I don't think I'm not looking at HBCUs in a vacuum, right? I'm looking at them isolated from themselves, right? So each conference, the SWAC is the most country club-ish version of any other HBCU conference. It would go the SWAC, the MEAC, and then everybody else. Right? That's how the country club elitists feel. They're really elitists. So when you're coming into the SWAC, they feel they're the Vanderbilts of HBCU football. So that's why I feel like they wouldn't give a white coach the leeway to do what they would like for them to do, because you're gonna have all you're going to hear is the culture aspect. You're going to hear people like Smash calling, well, Scotty, he doesn't know about the SWAC. And Scotty, he doesn't know about this. He doesn't know about the bands. He doesn't know about this. He doesn't know about... Does he win football games?
That's all that matters.
That's all that matters. Can he recruit and can he win football games? But The SWAC elitists want it done a certain way, and they want it to look a certain way while it's getting done. And that's the problem. I think that you won't have that white coaches are going to matriculate into the SWAC because of how they're going to be looked at. And listen, I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's wrong, but
it is what it is, and it's wrong. It's wrong. It's still wrong. Wrong is wrong. If you have a guy, if that guy from Valdosta State called Southern University and said, you know what? I believe I would like to apply for the gig. I would have to take a very strong look. If I'm looking at him and Dooley, I'm going with the guy at Valdosta State, straight up. West Florida, too.
They would never. I can tell Kofi, I can tell you, listen,
bruh.
He could have 6 national championships. Dooley could have an appearance in the SWAC championship as a head coach, and they would take Dooley every single time. He could say, I'll take a pay cut. He'll say, I'll come to your, listen, I'll bring all the resources that I have. He'll tell you, I'll hire black staff members, and they still would not hire the 2 white coaches from West Florida or Valdosta State. They would never hire them.
That's a shame.
I can promise you that in Southern,
that's a shame.
Southern fans, and you know what they're gonna say at the end. He doesn't know Louisiana, Kofi. He doesn't know Baton Rouge, Kofi. He doesn't know Edna Carr, Kofi. He doesn't know anything about that, Kofi. That's all they're gonna say. That's all they're gonna say. They're gonna repeat. They're gonna
stupid. I mean, they did it. Look, you don't have to convince me because they did it to Kevin Sumlin. So if they do it to Kevin Sumlin, God knows they would do it to a white person, you know, who's coming out for the job. You know, it's sad. It's something that I would like to see shift in our mentality, because at the end of the day, I want the best qualified person for the gig. Mm-hmm. I want the person that wants to be there. I want the person that has the capacity to take us to the next level. And if if he's white, he can be Chinese for all I care. As long as he wants to be, that'd be something right there. You know, Charles Southern and them got an old Asian coat. You know.
Boy, that's funny. That's funny. But listen, but if they was winning games, they'll be like, you see our Asian coach? You see him? All right, next question. Who should replace Dooley at PV? There's a few names that came up. Vance Singletary, that's Mike Singletary's brother. Kevin Sumlin or Dennis Thurman. Now, I'm going to let you go first. You can take it off, but I'm gonna get my opinion afterwards. Go ahead.
I can't judge Vance Singletary off of Mike Singletary's record. Mike Singletary was not a good head coach on any level. Loved the passion, but in terms of running the entire program and the ship, his communication got lost. So after Kevin Sumlin, I would go with Dennis Thurman. So I could weaken Jackson State staff, and then maybe Singletary. But what I would say is I'm going with Kevin Sumlin because Kevin Sumlin is familiar with Texas and that region. Mm. He understands that if he wants the job, seriously. I think he would be able to bring a level of resources there that's not currently there, and be able to recruit a different caliber athlete to come to Prairie View. And the facilities that are at Prairie View are second to none, especially in the SWAC. The only thing missing is the people in the stands that only come to homecoming. So, all
right. So when I say a few names, this is just from different articles I've picked up.
Hugh Jackson is also available as well. For me as an AD, I believe ADs, if they're responsible ADs, they had to have seen this coming a mile away. So they have to have a short list of candidates that were in their back pocket. And if they don't, then shame on them. Shame on them. I'd be very upset if my AD did not have a contingency plan for the coach, because any one of our coaches could leave at any one of our schools. You know, if a Power 5 school comes along, you know, you got to have, what is your contingency plan in the event that this thing happens and goes down?
So we got a couple people in the comments. So I'm gonna say that Damian Craig will be a good name. I also heard of the coach Flea from Jackson State. Listen, I'm not taking nobody from Jackson State staff. I'm not taking TC Taylor. I'm not taking nobody from Jackson State staff. They're not the sauce. They're just a cook. They're not the sauce, right? You don't walk into listen, when you go to Salt Bay's restaurant, you're not looking for the sous chef. You want Salt Bay to go like this over your steak. That's what you want to see that, right? Deion Sanders is the pot that makes that go. Dennis Thurman doesn't do crap without getting the players and talent in that Deion brings in. Deion is the ultimate grocery shopper. Everybody else is a cook. All right, so I'm not taking nobody off that staff because you have not proven to me that you can go get the groceries. All you've been able to do is cook. So I don't want nobody off that staff until they prove by themselves they can go get it and then go cook it at the same time. So no, I don't want a TC Taylor. I don't want a Dennis Thurman. I don't want a Flea. I don't want none of them guys. All right. They're all names are getting puffed up, and it's no different than, Alabama winning all their championships and then the little coaching tree, called, they get pulled out and everything like that. So it is what it is for me. Now, what I do like is I like Vance Singletary. He was the assistant DC at PV on this game. I think he should get a look, but I'm more of the Kevin Sumlin. And what I've been hearing from different people is Kevin Sumlin's a white guy in a black man's body. All right. Now, I don't care what that means. If I'm being honest, if you can coach, you can coach. If you can't, you can't. There's a lot of white coaches that don't like black people. Okay.
Stop right there. Stop right there. It's crazy, man. It's like we turn a blinder's eye and we create all of these rumors. That whole rumor mill, the street committee and what they got to say about it, and how much weight we actually give these unpaid committee members to give their worthless opinion about somebody that they've never met. I mean, give me a break. People lie all the time, but there's so many. Man, the guy, I forget. Anyway, I was catching an Uber, and the guy that was the quarterback at the University of Mississippi when they beat Tim Tebow and them was the driver. And so he was like, bruh, like, if I had to do it all over again, I would go to an HBCU. This was without me asking or prodding a whole thing. But he went into the whole injury thing and how that whole treatment and everything shifted after he got injured, and I was like, yeah, you should have gone to HBCU. But, that case scenario is across the board. I'll never forget the University of Georgia when, what's the guy's name that's quarterback at that quarterback Clemson, the 2 national titles that plays for Houston? What's his name?
Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, Deshaun. Okay. Before that whole massage gate and all that other stuff, Deshaun was the man, right?
Yeah.
But Deshaun grew up in Gainesville, that area that is definitely a UGA system, but they looked at the man, looked at the fact he was black, and then kicked him to the curb. And this boy is winning championships, right? I want to say maybe less than an hour away at Clemson.
Mm-hmm.
These people could care less, Not all. Now, are all of the white people there prejudiced? No, they're not. All of the white people racist there? No, but there's enough of them that I've seen the mishandling. Even Dabo Swinney with his over-opinionated self saying the things that he said, but he's taking a hit for that now because the players are not just lining up to go and play for this guy. So there's a lot to be desired there, man. So, I said all that to say, get off Kevin Sumlin and his past. People do change. And I don't know because I haven't met the guy. All I know is that his field resume is respectable enough for me to say, you got the job. Let's go win some SWAC championships.
My thing is this, right? So you got people in here on the comments, and I'm not saying every white person doesn't like black people. Nor am I. Listen, we know what life is, so don't hit me with that. That's stupid. All right, we know that there's people that don't like black people, and there's white people that do love black people. Okay, it's life. We got black people who don't like white people, and then we got black people who don't even like black people. So
talk about it.
Come on, man. So it goes both ways. So miss me with all that. My thing is this, and let's be clear: Urban Meyer is racist. So at the end of the day, this is my thing. Listen, if you want to win football games a certain way, then just say that. Okay. I don't have a problem with any of the hiring practices that SWAC schools do. Like, if you want to keep it alumni based, don't spit in my face and tell me it's raining. Listen, I've already said I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed, but I can figure some shit out. Okay, so listen. If you want to just say, "Hey, we gonna keep it alumni based," just say that. Like, don't beat around the bush with it. Like, oh yeah, we did. No, you didn't. Okay, you didn't. You want to do an alumni hire? Just say that. That's my only issue with all this stuff. Stop playing it. Stop making up these rules. Is that, oh, we out here doing all this, knowing you're not. You're not. All right, that's my only thing, man. It just keep it 100. Just keep it a buck. And nobody seems to do that, man.
You know, that's because we have committee people that, again, don't work for the school that run stuff. So, you know, we need presidents and ADs with some kahunas to tell these people to go sit down somewhere. Mm-hmm. And that's a part of the process. I appreciate your opinion. Your opinion is valued. We're going to make the best, what we think is going to be the best decision for our school, and that's that. But thank you for your opinion. Thank you.
All right, let's get into the SWAC championship. All right, Prairie View loses to Jackson State. I think it was
27-10.
27. God, oh, Jesus. 27-10. Your thoughts on the game?
Prairie View had their chances. You know, Jackson State's defense is definitely as advertised, but you know, Pass made some, I want to say, some uncharacteristic mistakes that cost them, and special teams, you know, just really messed them up, man. And you know, Prairie View had the chances, but that being said, there's not too many people outside of Prairie View that felt like they were going to go in there after losing 3 straight and beat Jackson State. That just wasn't going to happen. So, I mean, that's that. Congratulations to Jackson State and their championship. But what I will say is Prairie View, obviously they were missing their top wideout. The scheme, I didn't see them really strongly commit to the run game to even try to push the ball in that area. And if you're going to have an RPO system, you have to run the ball.
Facts.
You have to run the ball. It's not going to work if you don't establish some measure or commitment to your run game. And that just was not happening on a consistent basis, even though Pass, you know, ran for a couple of times and picked up some big yardage.
Smash, bro. Stop. This narrative that you're pushing, Smash, is so bad. It's horrible because you can hire regular ass coaches that come in and lose. And you can also hire celebrity ass coaches that come in and lose. So what are you talking about? This narrative that you're pushing is bad. Coaches can come in and lose, no matter if they're celebrity or not. Stop with that narrative. Leave it alone.
Now, here's what I'm going to say to that, okay? And this goes back to even, I'm going to talk about Florida Agricultural and Mechanical University on the Heights of Seven Hills in Tallahassee, Florida. Now, back in 1985, Coach Rudy Hubbard, who won a national title, that was his last season, and we had to hire a new head coach. Now, watch this. Ken Riley, who should be in the NFL Hall of Fame, applied for the gig. And at the time, he was a defensive backs coach for the Green Bay Packers. Mm-hmm. So the whole, the street committee, the alumni, he won a Jake's Boys, Jake Gaither, everybody, Frederick Humphreys was just getting, everybody's like, he's a stand-up guy. He's smart. You know, we got to hire this dude. We got to hire Ken Riley. Now, who else went out for that job? Joe Taylor, who was at Hampton, applied for the job. Bill Hayes, who at the time was at Winston-Salem State, applied for the freaking job. And the big kahuna was Billy Joe, who won a national title for Central State University, also applied for the job. Now, they gave the job to Ken Riley. Ken Riley did an average job as our head coach. He managed to win a couple of MEAC titles in 88 and 1990, I think 92. And we beat Georgia Southern twice, which is a big deal because we played him during the regular season on a consistent basis. And he managed to turn and maybe start to flip with the Tennessee State series, which was a big deal for Rattler Nation. That being said, Billy Joe would have been the smarter hire. And if we had hired Billy Joe, I'm willing to bet that we probably would have won an additional national title by now. So those types of decisions, are made, just by people. Now, again, smart CEOs and smart management people understand that when people have a resume and I want to say a past performance list, the best indicator of past performance or future performance is past performance. That's probably one of the best indicators. Sumlin, Big, Saban in Tuscaloosa. Sumlin recruited, has gone into major high schools in Texas and was able to go toe-to-toe and get solid recruits for that school. What else do you need? Now, he stunk up the joint at Arizona, but Arizona's never been to the Rose Bowl, so it's not like they've had a world-class program come football season anyway. So there's a whole lot of people that stuck it up at Arizona, and that's the reason why you don't see a lot of big-name people going out there, because at the end of the day, you're probably not going to win or overcome your UCLAs, your USCs, your Oregons, your Washingtons in the Pac-12. You're just not going to happen on a consistent basis. Every once in a while, yeah, but not. Now, I said all that to say, people can let them hire who they want to. Just like my brother said, you're going to see so many people that experienced coaches fail. Lou Holtz has failed. He failed at the University of South Carolina, and he won a national title. But who else are you going to hire? You're going to hire somebody that's bigger than Lou Holtz at the time? Absolutely not. This South Carolina is one of those programs that's not going to compete for a national title, let alone an SEC title anytime soon. So people have their opinions. People have these strong opinions. If Deion Sanders, I'm sure Florida State wishes to God, I'm sure Florida State wishes to God they had hired Deion Sanders when they had the opportunity to do so. I'm sure they do.
Let me open these call lines up real quick.
There is one other participant in the conference.
All right, one more question, and then we'll get to these callers. All right. What do you expect the Swac to do to catch up to Jackson State?
Well, they're gonna recruit. They know they have to recruit better. So I'm looking for right now the team that's closest to them right now will be Florida A&M, and I can tell you that they're going after top-notch recruits. Okay. Everybody in the East, you think Cornell Maynard took that ass whooping in his home stadium lightly? No, he knows he's got to step up so he doesn't take that level of beatdown again. So everybody knows that they've got to, recruit a higher caliber athlete. They're going to invest more money into their programs. You're going to see people try to attempt to adjust their schemes. People are going to be looking at Jackson State schemes on defense in particular to say, what can we do to overthrow this game? What do we need to get? So you're looking for better quality athletes, faster athletes. But then I want to say there's going to be an upgrade with the coaches or the coaching that is in that, because, again, You got to be strong with your special teams. You got to find a way to score at least 18 to 21 points if you're going to have an opportunity to even be in the ball game against Jackson State.
This is my thing. I think a lot of Jackson State fans and bandwagon fans, they have a very small IQ for football, right? And what I mean by that is because you can see teams like, I'm not even gonna go there. I won't go there with Power 5.
Go there, man. Go there.
I'm not gonna go because they're gonna be like, that's not the same. My thing is this: Jackson State had an all-world defensive lineman, right? We can legit say they probably got 3 pros on their front 7: Keontae Hampton, Antoine Owens, and James Houston. 3 of them guys are gonna be gone, and at the same time, they never dominated any. These games were close. Like the score, the talent was close. I don't care what you're talking about. You got a kickoff return, you got a pick 6. They're just bad. That's football. That's how plays goes. Okay, bad tip play here. Okay, you run. But if we're talking about talent-wise, Jackson State didn't out-talent not one team they didn't out-talent one team but Alabama A&M. That's the one team they just said, oh my God, we're not supposed to be on this field with you. I think teams are going to understand the scheme that Jackson State is going to bring in, and I absolutely think that the talent level is not going to be as big a gap as people think it's going to be. Because
I don't know who thought it was a big gap necessarily to begin with. I know these names, but these people are transferring also for a reason. And just because you transfer doesn't mean that you're quote unquote the star.
Yeah. My thing is this though, Kofi. Like, if you don't get your trenches right, to me, that's the epitome of where SWAC football is. Because on the outsides, it's not that. It's the boy from Alabama came and really didn't do anything. Josh Lanier. Malachi Wideman was probably the best receiver they had. He's 6'5", 210. Like, I would hope you're great. Like, it's just little things like that. So I think if the trench play can even out and teams can get, Jason Dumas's and, and other Ronnie from Mississippi Valley and other star Isaiah Lands. If you can find those players and put them on your D-line, you're not that far away from beating Jackson State. But at the core of the matter is coaching. Coaching is so small. I'm sorry. It is a small pool of high-level coaching in the SWAC. And I'm going to say it to the 10th degree because if Coach Dooley, I'm so sorry. As much as I want to say I think he's going to do well, if you cannot see simple route calls, once again, I always say this, I don't know if it's built into the offense or your quarterback didn't call it or what. But there's numerous of times where there are all-out blitz. They're leaving your inside receiver open. All he should have to do is turn around, catch the ball. It's 3 or 4 yards right there. But that's neither here nor there. I think Jackson State fans and Jackson State bandwagon fans, they have to understand that football is a ever-flowing sport. And don't think just because you won one year and you felt like this is a dominant year, because it really wasn't. It's just the fact of the matter is your team is not that far ahead of all the other teams in the SWAC. I just want to
let me say this, okay? Because people think that it's not that big of a deal, okay? But one of the people down there in the chat that said, "Fam, you go get a quarterback." Be careful what you ask for is what I'm gonna say, okay? Because I know you people from Jackson State don't like to lose, so enjoy your time at the top for right now. But what I'm gonna say is this. Billy Joe beat South Carolina State. It was like we scored 80 points one year and 76 points the following year. All right. And that was with Coach Jeffries. The following year, the score was in the 20s. And I think we won like 27, 20, 24, or 21, something like that. The following year, we played them in Tallahassee, and Buddy Pugh came in and shut down our offense. The score was like 36-13. Okay? Please don't think that these scores, coaching definitely matters, and it shores up the hedge with your schemes, with the way that you line up, with what you're able to present, and the execution, especially in the trenches. You know, your scheme, what you make the quarterback see every time. I'm still amazed at what Bill Belichick is able to do with quarterbacks that face him for the first time. It's like they just get gunshed. They don't know what in the world hit him. Scheme, because he understands what to do and how to line up in order to bring nuances that confuse the signal caller.
Facts. All right, let me get to some of these calls, Mr. Kofi.
Hey,
what's up, Coach Green?
Oh, turn my volume down.
Please do.
All right, here we go. Hey, Mr. Hemmingway, I'm gonna say this now. Willie Simmons probably wasn't the guy hired if Script was doing his show back then, the way he on Dooley.
No, I disagree because here's what I'm gonna say. Willie Simmons was going to get the gig because, and again, I get why Southern University hired Dooley. You know, he's went to Southern. He has 2 degrees there, understands Louisiana, and he has a winning product at Prairie View. I get it. Coach Simmons also did not have Kevin Sumlin to contend with. So there you have a huge difference. Willie Simmons did not have Hugh Jackson to contend with.
Yeah, I know, but I was just
Willie Simmons did not have Ed Reed to contend with.
Nah, not at all. Not at all. I was just messing with you. I just had to poke with you.
Stop messing with me, man. It's Monday.
You're a FAMU fan. But anyway, all right. This is my question for both of y'all.
All right.
You know, since you're the coach at Southern, do he clean house or do he bring all these people from Prairie View? Or I mean, do he clean house and bring all these people from Prairie View, or do we keep some of the people that's our coordinators on staff at Southern?
I expect him to bring a mix. I'm expecting him to bring a mix because he knows what's at stake, and he's had, I want to say, about 6 months to plan this out. So I don't think he's going to bring everybody from Prairie View. I'm expecting, you know, some players that may have played for him maybe in times past to be filling up, people that are coaching on the high school level, and maybe some surprises that we don't know. So I'm expecting a mix, a melting pot, if you would, of coaches that are going to be on his staff. So I don't know. I mean, if Rollins stays, then Rollins is the man. But most times when a head coach comes in with somebody that has had a lead position on that staff, to keep sabotage at an all-time low, they normally get rid of that dude or find another spot for him.
He's on the special teams. What's up, Coach Green? What you got? What else you got?
Hey, I'll wait for you to answer your question. Answer too, which because I know how you are.
Oh, I
want to get your take.
If I'm being honest, like nothing about Southern's team, like the offensive line coach, I would have kept him. Like little stuff like that. To me, it's the difference of coordinator. Whoever you need a DC at Southern, that's the point. Like everything else,
not in Washington. It's not in Washington. That's the defense.
Then you need a new one. You need a new one. Like I don't care who he is. You need a new one because whatever they was trying to run early in the season was not working. So I need you to get a new one.
All right. What about the offense coach? Even though Dooley called all his own plays,
go.
do we still?
What I need you for? I got Dooley. What I need you for? Bye. Bye.
Damn, man, you had no sympathy for dude.
No, what I need you for? I got Dooley. He's supposed to be an offensive genius. What I need you for? Bye. Unless you're trying to groom somebody, like if you had a young grad assistant that you thought could be somebody special, then you keep him as an offensive coordinator by title, but he's just learning from Dooley, you know what I'm saying? So that when Dooley leaves, he can take up and step into that position. Okay, that makes sense. But they not thinking like that. Swac schools don't think like that. So no, bye.
Man, Fobbs is out there. Frazier's out there.
He not hiring Fobs though. But
Rod Reed.
hey, what's your last question, Coach Green?
So that's it, man. That's all I got, man.
All right, man. Appreciate the call. Yeah, I'm telling them Bama's bye. Hey, what's up, Ryan? Talk to me.
Hey, what's going on?
What's up? Take your background down.
I got it. Hey, look, man. So I was just thinking, the only thing that kept Jackson State back from absolutely dominating this year was the offensive line. If Jackson State had Southern offensive line, this shit wasn't even close this year. You agree?
No. And the reason why is Jackson State's Achilles heel. You said offensive line, but their defensive line was good regarding pass rush because the offensive lines in the SWAC are built for outside and more pass-oriented schemes. If the SWAC was more run-oriented, Jackson State would have taken an L on a couple of occasions. If Southern had just stuck with it, FAMU had just stuck with it, that would have been 2 right there. Alabama A&M got away from it and got pass happy and turned the ball over, and that happened. That game just got away. I can't even talk about Alabama A&M with a straight face. But Texas Southern proved that they could move and run the football. So all of these schools has shown a propensity, and Jackson State has shown an ability to score. The key is, like my brother said, was really defensive schemes and offensive schemes is what's going to turn the table. And if J-State stands pat regarding their line or their trench play, they're going to be in for a rude awakening come 2022.
Go ahead, Ryan.
All right, look. All right, check. Hold on, check. So the ULM game, that's the FBS offense. They was having problems with the defensive line.
The ULM sucks. Move on.
Huh?
Yeah, ULM sucks. Move on.
How they suck? They won 4 games in the FBS. How they suck?
And that's good. So if you said the same thing about a SWAC school, you would say that's good. Valley won 4 games.
If a SWAC school, hold on,
Valley won 4 games.
If a SWAC school this year won 4 games in the FBS, I would say that's great.
Yeah, you're not comparing the two, bro. They're in their conference. That's their conference. So Valley won 4 games. Right. Are they great? Are they great?
So that's what I'm telling you. So if a SWAC team who doesn't have nearly the access that ULM does, if they can win 4 games, if they're in the same conference, wouldn't that be great?
Sir, you're not comparing apples to apples. All right. You're talking about a ULM team that has been in the FBS program for I don't know how long. You're talking about a SWAC school like Valley that's been a SWAC program for I don't know how long. You can't compare the two. You compare the records to say, hey, you're winning in your conference. Go ahead.
Well, let me do this. I'm gonna compare the ULM team that beat Troy, a ULM team that beat Southern Miss. That's the team I'm talking about that played Jackson State. That defensive line still was getting after their quarterback. Still had them on the run. All that. That's one thing I'm talking about. I'm talking about their defensive line. I'm talking
no
about
doubt. Now listen to me. No doubt Jackson State had an FBS caliber defense. You know, you had the majority of the people on that side of the ball that were transfers. That being said, again, FAMU averaged 5 yards of freaking carry against Jackson State. Southern was able to run the ball against Jackson, and so was Texas Southern.
Let him finish. Go ahead.
Go ahead,
Ryan.
Listen, my point is the offensive line. This is my only point. We already know Jackson State, Scotty, you say it every week, their front seven is legit. Their offensive line was the weak spot. Their offensive line cost them a lot of points. The offensive line was the weakest part of the team. If they had a good offensive line, I said Southern offensive line. If they had a good offensive line, a lot of these scores wouldn't be that close. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
So,
but the same ifs that you're doing ifs too. The same ifs that everybody tells me, Scotty, if, what if, you can't do it. If I can't do it, you can't do it. It's just that simple.
No, you can, but do it. But that's what I'm saying. Only thing I'm saying is y'all was saying like, the rest of the SWAC is not that far off from Jackson. I'm telling you, give Dion, okay, that's fair with that offensive line. I agree. Give Dion a recruiting cycle.
And the playmakers are. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Ryan, I'm sorry. Listen, go ahead. I don't understand. You listen, bro. You cannot tell me that the talent and outside of this, bro. The only thing that your defense has shown is the propensity to make quarterbacks look bad, and the quarterbacks in the SWAC are atrocious. They're not good. They are not that good because
what's going to change? And what's going to change? What's going to change?
You got to recruit better. Did you not see the backup quarterback? Go ahead, Ryan. Go ahead, Ryan.
Oh, okay, y'all been saying that from week 1 till now. Juwan Pass was supposed to be what it was supposed. First it was a kill glass, then it was Juwan Pass, and every week is the same thing. Oh, the quarterbacks in the SWAC. Again, so what's gonna change? They still gonna be quarterbacks in the SWAC, and Jackson State still gonna be recruiting the same players. It's gonna be the same thing.
If that's what you think, then why'd you call in? If that's what you feel, then why'd you call in? What's the point?
The reason, listen. The reason I called in is because it's like, what's the question was? What I had jumped on was, what's the difference, or is the rest of the SWAC will catch up with Jackson? And my thing is how, like, the quarterback's still gonna be the same. You say the quarterbacks are trash. Akil Glass, Juwan Pat, all them still trash. All right. So what's gonna change next year? What's gonna change? They swept the SWAC this year. Let me
okay.
Like,
since you want to play ifs, I'm gonna play ifs with you, right? Let's play ifs.
Let's play.
If Juwan Pass hits on any of those passes, do you win the game? Yes or no?
Yes, he missed 2 passes. He missed 3. Yeah, and both of them went for touchdowns.
He missed
3. And they still would have won.
No, they wouldn't have. You know how to count? Do you know how to count? He missed 3 touchdown passes. That's 21 points.
I counted 2.
No, sir. He missed 3. He missed 3.
Name.
The one he threw outside in the second quarter on Nugget, the tight end was running scot-free. Jalen Howard was running scot-free.
Hold on. What tight end? Which
the
one?
Tight end 88. What quarter that was? Listen, second quarter. Go back and watch some film. Second quarter.
I've been watching. I watched it 3 times.
The tight end is running wide open. He throws an outside route on Nugget that he throws out of bounds. The tight end is walking in for a touchdown. The next one, CJ Holmes gets done up in the slot. That's a touchdown.
Right.
And then he throws another one. Yeah. Then he throws another one on the outside, the far left side. And that one, yeah. He throws one on the far left side in the fade route that he overthrows as well. So that's 3 touchdowns that he misses. That's 21 points. That's 31-27. What are we talking about? If we're doing ifs, since we want to play if games.
Listen, I counted 2 scores that they should have counted, 103 and 128. Both of them in the slot. That's what I counted, 2 missing. A wheel route on Cam that Cam intercepted that should have been caught, but he missed. That Juwan missed the pass on.
Like I said.
Now you want to give him 21, I give him 14, and you could have given them that, and they still would have lost.
Bro. It's 3 touchdowns they missed, bro. But like I said, since we playing ifs, you lose that game. Let's just call it what it is.
I don't lose that game. You want to give him 3? I gave him 2. I still gave him 2 touchdowns.
It's 3 touchdowns, bro.
Okay.
It's 3 touchdowns, but you lose that game.
My point is this, man. Like, ain't shit really gonna change that shit. Deion still gonna recruit. Deion.
Okay.
I'm hearing they got a better recruit class coming. We got a red shirt.
Okay.
Wide receiver.
Well, listen,
if he was that good, he would have started.
He's cold.
He couldn't play. He wasn't qualified to play. He's talking about
so he dumb.
I know what you're talking about. You're talking about Quintarius Davis. I know you're talking about Davis from Dallas. I know you're talking about.
Right, he wasn't even qualified to play.
He's cold. Okay, but listen, at the end of the day, coach. Listen, the talent-wise for Jackson State is not going to. Jackson State is never. And listen, to what I'm telling you, Jackson State is never going to out-talent teams. Their scheme is really good, and if coaching doesn't get better, then you're going to continue to winning. If coaching gets better, then you're going to have a hard time winning. It's just that simple for me. You're not going to out-talent anybody in the SWAC. I'm telling you that right now. That's my opinion.
Let me say this, and let me put it in just regular terms. You see it happen in the NFL. You see it happen in every sport across, no matter what sport it is. The most talented team doesn't win all the time.
It's that simple. But I appreciate the call, though, Ryan. Oh, my gosh. People just blowing up this line right now. Okay. What's up, Book? Talk to me.
Hey, man, just real quick. As far as JSU next year, hey, so I think what Dion at the end of the little post game or whatever, he kind of said, like, the team is programmed for the league, right? He's like, hey, most of the quarterbacks in the SWAC are running quarterbacks. And you're not going a running quarterback is not going to run his team down from when they get down, right? So he built the defense to get up early, right, and put pressure on the team to try to make them do what they can't do well, which is throw out of it. We saw that all season long.
That's
right?
fair. That's fair.
Sam Hughes quarterback, all of them. You can't throw from behind. He has a quarterback, that can throw from behind. We saw him do it against us, right? Okay, fine. So he built the defense for that. With that being said, if right, we're gonna play if game, we can shore up that secondary, which by the grace of the front seven gets by. But if we can shore up that secondary, then I ain't gonna lie to you, it's gonna be bubble toil and trouble for everybody else next year.
Okay,
because
so
now,
but hold on, hold on. You're living off past. You're living off a past present. You're living off a past precedent. James Houston's not coming back, so who's to say you're going to have another James Houston?
Okay, hold on.
Wait.
I'm sorry. Let me add another caveat. You're right. If that we are able to maintain the pressure that we are able to get. Now, are we going to have Houston? No. But the point is, we have to be able to get to the quarterback and speed up the clock for quarterbacks who don't have a high enough QB arm to be able to make elite throws or to be able to make quality throws at high pressure times. Right? We can do that. If you get another cornerback, really we only need another one. He don't have to be as good as Nugget. He has to be maybe just a shy behind Nugget. But now you got to throw to them, to one of the two, because we're going to take everybody else away.
Once again.
You know what I'm saying?
Once again, wait. It all is dictated off pressure, just like you said. And if you don't have a James Houston, listen, if you want to bet all your money on Niles Gaddy getting home, have fun with that. Okay?
No, I'm not doing it.
Listen, Antoine Owens is gone.
I don't care where it comes from.
Antoine Owens is gone.
I don't care where it comes from.
James Houston is gone. Keontae Hampton is not going to be back. Aubrey Miller's not going to be back. These guys are the main staples. You have to replace your whole. Now, don't get me wrong. I like Barron Hobson. I think Barron Hobson is an amazing talent. I don't know who the back. I think Abdul McClain is coming. He comes back for another year. So I'm not saying that you don't have players coming in, but are they going to live up to the production of what came before them? Because I don't give a damn if you got 10 Nuggets. If you can't get pressure, DBs can't cover forever. All right.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
So that's what it is.
For sure. But I'm telling you right now, I just don't think that's gonna. I just don't think that's gonna go. It's gonna be completely deflated. My thing is, we can maintain pressure. We'll be able to get it done, right? However they get it, they'll figure it out. You're not gonna be able to replace Houston. Yeah, we losing Hampton, who is exceptional linebacker. He can cover, he can read, do all of that, right? And he will knock somebody silly. Got all of that.
I really think y'all are being. I think your guys are being really listen, and I've been very disrespectful to these coaches in the SWAC. I don't think they're that good, but wait.
Okay,
wait,
I'm not saying.
Wait.
Okay, go ahead.
My point is this: you're acting like they're not going to come back with a vengeance. You're acting like they're not going to see what you do on paper and be like, okay, we got to do something different. Like y'all go ahead, Ms. Kofi.
People don't understand. What happened this year is done. It's over. We played North Carolina A&T, homecoming. We scored 48 points on them. Bill Hayes went home and studied that freaking tape the entire year. The next year when we played them in 99, they beat us. People make adjustments. I think people make adjustments, and I think I'm not saying that Jackson State's not going to be good. They're going to be good, but because they were good, people are going to make adjustments. Teams are going to make adjustments, and what you did this year may not happen next year. We don't know. You might have to deal with injuries next year that you didn't have to face this year. You don't know. So all of these different things get factored in. And I think, not wishing ill on anyone, but I think that, the euphoria and the state of what the possibilities are is being overstated. Southern should have beat y'all.
Let me
FAMU should have beat y'all.
I don't know, man.
You know,
That's some shoulda, woulda, coulda, but it didn't happen.
But listen,
we're talking about next year.
We count W,
and it's not from
but
talent. I want to be very clear. You guys winning those games are not from over talenting kids. Like that's
I'm not saying it is.
So my point is, listen, I want.
So my thing is this, though, Script. But hold on. I'm not gonna cut you off, but this is what I'm saying. I don't think it is, and I'm happy it's not, because I've long time said that there's talent in the Swac. So, but please, I'm not trying to disrespect anyone's effort on that field. What I am trying to say, though, is there is probably more talent on the field in blue and white in certain positions than across teams on par. That's when I say when Jackson State gets a chance to lean the pedigree on people, you can give everybody your best shot for 1, 2, 3 quarters, but you have either got to do something you haven't done all year, which is play a complete and perfect and mistake-free game, or you have got to play the game of your life. And everybody had to do that this year, and it didn't work out. That's all. I don't think that there was some that we lined up against somebody and it was just we're just better than you. I don't think that, because I think there are a bunch of athletes from both sides of the ball for all teams. That's not what I'm saying. I mean, I'm a alumni. I'm a supporter, but I'm not like drunk with Fanta.
My thing is,
I got everybody. I got everybody's going to make adjustments. But my thing is, I think my other little point, and I just let y'all roll because I know you got the calls on the line, is what I expect for adjustments are. I think that Furman and everybody played the scheme that fit their players the best. They put everybody in their zone of excellence. Aubrey Miller, you are like you said, a brick wall posing as a man. You're a tackling machine. Can't cover for shit, but we're going to let you do what you do. Keontae Hampton, we're going to let you do what you do, right? Everybody got a chance to operate in their zone of excellence. And we're going to go down doing what we do best. And we're going to have confidence and pride in each other, and that's what we're going to do. I think that's fine. Now, next year, is that going to work? No. I think next year you still might see some zones. If we get to shore up that secondary, it'll be different. Everybody's going to have to deal with injuries that occur. I mean, hell, we didn't have to deal with injuries. I mean, Deion suspended some people, and we still had to get it done. So, I mean, everybody's got to deal with some type of adversity. But I think the next thing I'm really looking forward to is see what that defense can do and how that play calling on that offensive side of the ball is going to improve. Because I think that's really where, in crunch time, where it's going to get to. Because sooner or later, somebody's going to go get a big DB that can cover Malachi Wideman, or Malachi Wideman got to learn to start catching ball with his hands and not his body. Because that's where I think most of his drops came from. And I'll let that go.
I appreciate the call. Listen, man, for people in the comments, guys, listen. You can compare Jackson State and Alabama, and this is what I'm saying. It's because they're going to have the best class. They're going to have the supposedly all the best athletes, but does not, and they might be, you can even make them the favorites to win. But that doesn't mean that teams cannot beat them. That's my point. I'm not saying I'm picking Jackson State to run it back. I'm not saying they won't. All I'm saying is the fact of the matter is to think that teams are just going to lay down and not recruit, not get better, not scheme is dumb. It's just dumb. And I'm watching the games. You didn't out-talent any other team than Alabama A&M. That's the only team you out-talented. Everybody else had a chance to win the game. I just don't understand how I can sit back and say, okay, they had supposedly less talent, horrible coaching, and you won by a touchdown, or you won by this, or you lost, you beat a D2 school by 7 points. Like, come on, bro. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Let me see where we at. Hey, what's up, Q? Talk to me.
Hey, what's good, brother? Hey.
Talk to me.
Man, I just want to offer like some perspective. So the answer to your question, say, why doesn't PV have a fan base? Brother, is it a case of an abused or ugly duckling syndrome? Like, they don't know that they're decent. Like, real talk, man. Like I was over visit family in Houston. There were 7 Prairie View A&M alumni in that one building. These are my family members. The only person who went to a actual Prairie View A&M game within the last 10 years was the only PWI graduate, and that was me. And so these guys graduated between 1980 and 2008. So they've, like I said, before Charles McCullough came in, they had 30 years of losing season. Some of these people still don't know that they're actually decent and actually have an uptick. So I guess that's a perception of that. So the second thing I'm going to talk about, brother, man, you said it on your, I think your other show, where it says, man, the media be giving softball questions. Man, it is after the Swac championship game. Man, I listened to these brothers give you softball questions, and everybody in that room knew that Dooley was going to Southern. Mr. Hemmingway, when you talk to Dr. Cavill at the sports lab, hey, bring that up, because I mean everybody, nobody wanted to answer the elephant in the room, and everybody knew it. So I mean that's just kind of poor journalism for everyone who was there.
I agree. Here's what I'm going to say in regards to the Prairie View thing, because I believe that everything does come back to leadership, and it comes back to a plan. By now in 2021, Prairie View's fan base should be much larger than what it is now. So somebody's not doing their job when it comes to instilling pride into the school. I mean, every time I look online, you know, you got a group of people doing steps, people, you know, swaying back and forth, people doing a little preview, line dances, all of this stuff. There has to be a shift in the mentality, and that really does come from how the communication, how things are communicated to your fan base and what needs to happen with the fan base. Tradition, because again, if you carry your behind to a class, you can carry your behind to a home game.
That's real.
Exactly, and I do want to put a stamp on that. Like, okay, so I'm a Stephen F. Austin graduate, and just today I was comparing Stephen F. Austin, NIU, Northern Illinois, which I have a friend who runs their social media account, and I looked at Prairie View's social media account. All their football teams, all their teams have separate social media accounts, and they're extremely active. There is no social media activity in many of these. Well, I can only speak for Prairie View, Texas Southern, because those are the games that I follow. I think the last point that I want to bring up is, I think with the new coach, man, I don't know. Brother Script, you probably can get this analogy. If you go on the football field and you're going out for a streak, and all of a sudden, you know, you see this rainbow football pass that's about to come into your arms, and the only thing you have to do is just hold your hand out and let it drop in your breadbasket. That's what Donald Reed was the athletic director, the situation that he's in now. But right now, he doesn't have to pay an exit or buyout for Coach Dooley, because it was at the end of the contract.
Yep.
So he doesn't have to go to the alumni to get the money. Only thing he is the successor to Charles McClellan, the SWAC director, Ashley Robinson, who's doing things there at JSU, and now is his job to see. This is the first big decision for the athletic director. Only thing he has to not do is not drop the ball. And so he needs to hire a coach that has either, because they can outrecruit the 11 D1 programs that's within a 180-mile radius. So that's a 3-hour drive. So there's 6 FCS programs and 5 FBS programs within that area that Prairie View's in. Houston Baptist, Texas Southern, Sam Houston, Lamar, Stephen F. Austin, Incarnate Word, and FBS, Texas A&M, Houston, Rice, Texas, UTSA in Texas. And sometimes if you have to go to Louisiana, which is a 4-hour drive away, better do what Dooley does. So I really appreciate you. Thank you guys for your time, man.
Hey, no problem, Q. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
All right, I want to get back on this media stuff real quick before I go to the next caller. Like, I gotta agree with my man. It's your boy. It's your boy Oz. Because I feel like everybody want to be friends. Like everybody, it's like, hey, you scratch my back, I scratch your back. Now, people call me the Black Paul Feinbaum, right? And if you listen to Paul Feinbaum today, he went ham on Kirby Smart. He went ham on Kirby Smart for the lack of decision making in the game with the quarterbacks and all that type of stuff. But when we do it down here in the Swac arena, it's, oh, Scotty, you a hater. Oh, Scotty, you want to see bad stuff. Oh, Scotty, you don't respect the culture. No, it's called journalism. Now, do I consider myself a journalist? Nah, I just tell it like it is. You can call me a journalist, you not call me, I don't give a damn. But you want all this attention. Oh, Scotty, we need to be this, and we need to have this, and we need to have that. That comes with criticism. Nothing and not everything you do in the SWAC is perfect. So if you don't think it's perfect and people outside the SWAC can see that something's wrong, listen, it's called critique. It's called criticism. And it's like you guys are such, how they say?
Sensitive.
Yes. I wish I had the sensitivity. A man like me. That's what y'all sound like. Just so sensitive, man. God damn. Killing me, Petey. You're killing me. All right, let me get to some of these callers. Hey, what's up, Mr. Ford? Talk to me.
Hey, let me turn this thing down here. Okay, when we got the word this morning that Dooley was a new coach at Southern, I was in the presence of two Prairie View alums, and we posed a question to them, who's next at Prairie View? And they told us in less than 2 seconds, it's KJ Black, that KJ Black would definitely be the next coach. I want to go back to something that Mr. Hemmingway was talking about when he was talking about the Ken Riley years. One thing, and you've been talking about this, Scotty, you got to keep in mind, Ken Riley was FIA. Dr. Frederick Humphreys, who was one of the greatest presidents in the history of Black College and University, was also FIA. But the main reason Ken Riley got that job was because at that time, a man by the name of Alonzo Jake Gaither told them he wanted Ken Riley to have that job. And Coach Gaither went as far as to meet with Billy Joe and told Billy Joe that he was not ready for FAMU and that he needed to go out and get more experience. And the experiment with Ken Riley was going well until Walter Highsmith left and went to Texas Southern. Highsmith was the backbone of that program. He was the defense coordinator. He'd come up from a high school in Miami. The other part of that program was a guy named Kent Schofield, who was also a Rattler, had played for Jake Gaither. But the biggest problem that Ken Riley had when Smith left and went to Texas Southern, the job should have went to this guy, Johnny Williams, and he gave it to a guy named Rick Kravis, who was trash. And so I'm just saying, I when I was told this morning that Dooley was going to Southern, I'm going to be honest with you, I felt good about it. I really do think that it's going to be some battles between Willie Simmons and Dooley. I think it's going to be a battle between Dooley and the guy at Jackson State. I think it's a good move, and I believe that he will step up and he will do a good job at Southern. Y'all have now? Did you have any questions for me, Scotty?
Nah, we good, Mr. Ford. As always, appreciate the call.
Okay, thank you.
No
have
problem.
a good one.
What do you say to that? KJ Black, PV, rumor mill at PV is the new KJ Black will be the new PV head coach.
Well, KJ is a rising superstar in the coaching ranks, but to me, he doesn't have enough SWAC hours or just as experience running a program just yet. For me, if I'm an AD to pull that trigger, and that's not me saying I want KJ Black to stay at FAMU. He's done a good job recruiting. He's excellent with the players, but running the program, I think maybe for me, I would say maybe a year away. But hey, if enough people get and that thing gets enough momentum, it could. But again, you've got a number of experienced head coaches that are out there that are vying for that position. So I would say not just yet for KJ.
I don't.
But that's me talking, and not the whole whole system of
I've met
nepotism
KJ, cool
and
guy.
stuff that we've seen.
I met Coach KJ, cool guy, real cool guy, supports the channel, all that type of stuff.
He could do it. Don't get me wrong, but Kevin Sumlin, Hugh Jackson, Ed Reed, Ray Lewis.
I don't know.
Rod Reed.
I don't know because I don't know.
Frazier.
I don't know.
The guy at Bowie State is still out there. I mean, come on, man.
I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm not gonna jump on that one. I'm gonna leave it alone.
We're not doing that bad journalism thing, are we?
Hey, caller, you live. Talk to me.
Hey, man, I'm a calling in second generation Jackson State graduate. Let me ask y'all a question.
Talk to me.
Has the Celebration Bowl been played yet?
Negative.
Then the only damn thing that Jackson State fans need to be thinking about is the damn Celebration Bowl. Stop thinking about next year. Stop thinking about what we gonna run through. I'm calling so you know that not all Jackson State fans are delusional. Like you said, it can be injuries. It could be whatever the hell. Look, man, I told you, my family, we've had season tickets at Jackson State since since 75. I'm worried about the Celebration Bowl. That's the only damn thing I'm worried about, the Celebration Bowl. I worry about recruiting, and we need to enjoy this year. Jackson State fans need to enjoy this year. Stop worrying about everybody talking negative about us, and just enjoy the damn Celebration Bowl. And like y'all say, people are going to make adjustments. People are going to improve. We didn't win all games because we are talented people. There were a couple of times coaches just made bad decisions. So to sit here and say that we going to go undefeated again, look, do I want us to win the 3-4 years that we got Coach Prime before he dipped? Yes. And when he dipped, Scotty, I'm going to tell you like I told you, I had a beautiful girlfriend for 3 years. I had enjoyed it. But we should be worrying about the Celebration Bowl. If you a true blue Jacksonian, worry about the Celebration Bowl and let next year take care of next year. And I just wanted to call in and let you know that not all of us are delusional.
I appreciate it.
And Mr. Hemmingway, even as a Jackson State True Blue, I love what y'all do over at ONG Strike Zone, man. I check y'all out too. Just wanted to tell y'all, enjoy y'all, keep doing what y'all doing.
Appreciate you, man. And let me just say, I mean, if I'm a Jacksonian, you have to play this game. And your timing is going to be different because you're going to take a few weeks off to prepare for the game. Please don't underestimate Buddy Pugh. He's been around a long time. A long time. He's seen some of the best teams to come through HBCU football. I think Jackson State definitely has a better team, but South Carolina State is not going to sit there and just lay down. So if J-State doesn't come ready to play, they're going to be in for a rude awakening in a number of different ways.
That's what's up. Hey, caller, you live. Talk to me. What's your name? Where you calling from?
JB, man. I'm calling from Texas.
Talk to me.
Man, just trying to touch on this whole Prairie View hire deal, man. I agree everything with y'all saying, especially Kofi talking about it has to be an administrative problem. I do feel that way. But I also feel like, man, you got to hire. Texas is a weird state. You got to hire somebody from Texas. This high school football deal, if you're not tied into that deal,
that's real.
It is hard for it's hard to recruit here in Texas. Prairie View sits right outside of Houston. Now, everybody talking about that further recruiting ground, and that's cool and all, but yeah, you got UT, A&M, they're going to get their guys, but you got Sam Houston, which is, 45 minutes away. SFA, who's been balling this year, an hour away. UTSA was in the top 50 this year. Man, recruiting in Texas is hard. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't have a coach that can do that, I mean, shout out to Dooley who did his thing. But if you don't have a coach that can recruit in Texas, man, it's a hard deal. I feel like that's the reason why we can't really keep a coach. Let alone, yes, I do feel like the alumni and students can do a damn better job. But damn, you know what I'm saying? Recruiting against all these not even major schools, it's a hard feat. Just want to see what y'all have to think about that.
Hey man, that's a real point. Like,
absolutely.
We're gonna answer your question, man. Appreciate the call. That's a real point. You know, like, do you go like, and that's why you kept saying Kevin Sumlin. You know, he's been in that system. He's been in Texas. He's done it before. You know what I'm saying? He like Texas A&M. You know, but once again, I think some coaches are made by the school, because you know what. When I go to Texas A&M, I know what I'm going to get at Texas A&M, and it's cool that I got a Kevin Sumlin. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you don't know how much of it is Kevin Sumlin and how much of it is Texas A&M, how much it was the University of Houston. So it's just, you know, you still get the right players in there, though.
Yeah, here's what I will say. Like, high school football is big in Texas. So it is absolutely imperative that Prairie View tap into that, as my brother stated. One of the things that I think is being overlooked is the states that border Texas as well. Like, you're not limited. I think obviously conquering Texas is job one, but you got Arkansas, you got Louisiana, you got Oklahoma. You know, you're not limited straight to just Texas. And I think the Prairie View brand is strong enough for them to go and venture into a Mississippi, a Alabama, possibly into Florida once they start playing the Florida schools. It's just a matter of what the coach's theory is in regards to recruitment and how they plan to accomplish that. Now, obviously, the transfer portal has changed the game completely. So I don't have to immediately run to a high school to find a player that can absolutely ball out, because these guys, it's 400 freaking people in the transfer portal that are looking for opportunities to play, let alone. So that's going to push a lot of high school, really talented high school kids back a little bit further, because then you also have your junior college kids that are available as well. And so coaches that understand that they've got to win now are going to go with the older, more seasoned player to come in and hold down a spot for a year or two, depending on their level or years that they have left in their eligibility.
That's real. All right, let me get some of these callers real quick. Hey, caller, you live. Talk to me.
Yes, sir. Thank you for taking my call. Doing a great job as always. Much respect to you.
Thank you, sir.
I have two questions. This is Ken Davis, Southern University.
Talk to me.
And shout out Ken Davis, number 2, also Southern University. Dr. Hemmingway and yourself been educating me every week, and I appreciate it. I got two questions, and I'll get off and listen. I was born in Orangeburg, South Carolina.
Claflin, South Carolina State.
Buddy Pugh and I were compared. He played football, I played basketball. He's been at South Carolina State quite a while. They got this wide receiver called Shaq.
Yeah, Shaq Davis.
The boy's big. I think what's going to make this a good game will be Buddy Pugh and his staff versus Dion and his staff. If it was Buddy Pugh versus Dion, I would give the edge to Buddy Pugh, quite honestly. But Dion's staff is off the chain, okay? My second question, and I'll get off and listen, is until recently, Southern's rumor mill was all about Mickey Joseph, who was the assistant coach at LSU. And when the new coach from Notre Dame came in, he did not keep Mickey Joseph. I just thought for sure we were going to get Mickey Joseph, although he was making over $600,000 as an assistant at LSU, which is a little rich for a Swac blood. Do y'all think we made the right choice with Dooley over Mickey Joseph. I look forward to hearing your comments. Great job again. Much respect.
No problem. Thank you so much, Mr. Davis. Thank you so much. I'm gonna go backwards. I'm gonna go with his last question first. From what I heard from Mickey Joseph, and this is a couple people have told me, is that one, he asked for too much. And two, he asked for too much. I mean, that's what I heard. I heard he was out of their price range. But if I'm being honest, I think they really wanted Dooley. Pete Richardson, like gave him the stamp of approval, and he's like God down there in Southern. So once you got the approval from him, I think it was a done deal. It was a done deal. What you got, Kofi?
For me, I know that and I love high-priced assistants to a certain degree. For me, it comes down to I guess a hiring preference and a hiring style. I can't venture into the minor Roman Banks because I'm not him. For me, I'm going to hire the guy that has a record and has a history. So that for me would be Dooley. But if he's way out of the price range, he's out of the price range, and that's that. So moving on to the next one. So I think they made the right.
I don't want to get too much into the Celebration Bowl because that's next week. But I'll say this: Shaq Davis is a monster, and if any, and a lot of you Jackson State fans, I know y'all ain't watched nothing about the MEAC. I don't watch much about the MEAC. And I'm gonna give you this is about as honest I can be. If you want an honest assessment of South Carolina State and Jackson State and what that game is gonna look like, you might want to go to CFL's page because he is a South Carolina. I know he might seem like he was born and raised in Jackson State. He is actually from South Carolina. He loves South Carolina State. He knows the team like the back of his hand. You're probably gonna get the best assessment. Like I'm gonna watch film all this week to kind of get a grasp on the team. But I'm telling you, somebody who knows that team inside and out is going to be CFL. So ask all your questions about South Carolina State probably to him. Like I said, I'm gonna watch film. Mr. Kofi's probably gonna watch film. We're gonna understand what they do and what they like to do, but nobody's gonna know that team like CFL will. I'm just telling you that right now. Let me see who we got. Hey, caller, you live, talk to me. Hey, caller, you live, talk to me.
Hey, yo.
Hey, you. What's up?
Not much. What's good?
What's good? What's your name? Where you calling from?
What's that?
You called into the show. What's your name? Where you calling from?
It's B. Lee calling from.
Oh, what's up, B, man?
Southern.
What's good? Talk to me. How you feel about the Coach Dooley hire?
Hey, man, it's the best move, man. It's the best move.
What's the best move?
Dooley going to.
Okay.
This is Brian. Hey, anybody know? This is Brian Lee, former quarterback at Southern, calling in to talk about the Coach Dooley hire. So, what do you think? The first thing that Dooley does, what do you think he's going to do, and how is he going to make it happen?
He's going to definitely gather up all of the best recruits that he can in the New Orleans area. That's his specialty. I think part of the reason why he left TV was because they forced him not to go into Louisiana and get those New Orleans kids that he was so prone to getting, the top guys from, your Carrs and your Warren Eastons and things like that. So I think definitely he's going to tune into recruiting, and from there, I see sky the limit from him. He has that Coach Richardson pedigree. He has the Monty Coleman pedigree. He even played under the late great, probably the best coach of all time, Eddie Robinson at Grambling. So he has that background, especially coaching at Southern for 18 years. He has that pedigree, and he has that background to get. Definitely those they call them Jimmys and Joes. He can definitely get those guys in and start a winning tradition.
All right, let me ask you this: in what does success look like for Southern? What does success look like for you guys? Is it just because I hear Bayou Classic, I hear just beating Jackson State. What is success for? Because 20-17 is what he had at PV, and I don't think 20-17 is going to cut it at Southern. So, what is success are you looking for Dooley?
I think definitely winning those key games. Everybody wants you to win homecoming. Everybody wants you to win Jackson State and the Bayou Classic. I think he can definitely do all three. And man, we just got to get back to and he's an offensive minded guy. So I think since Austin Howard was there, that's the last time we had a successful pass game.
Mm-hmm.
We've been one dimensional on offense for. Like I said, I don't know when Austin Howard's last year playing, but it went from me to Dre Joseph to Austin Howard, and that's top three passing offenses each year. To not having one person, one quarterback or maybe one receiver on your top 10 all conference guys. Like, I think Dooley will definitely change that and bring that swagger back to Southern that we needed. Coach Odoms did a hell of a job as well. So kudos to him. And he actually left some pretty good recruits. So hopefully they can rebound off. Coach Dooley can rebound off of that and not rebuild but reload with the talent.
Hey, appreciate the call, B. Lee. Thanks, man.
All right,
man. Man, listen, they excited. I can't lie. There's a lot of Southern fans out there that's really, really excited about this hire and this move, and they think it's going to be nothing but the best for them. Let me get to some people I haven't seen before. Hey, caller, you live. Talk to me.
Hey, this is Darren from Texas.
What's
How
up,
y'all
Darren?
gentlemen doing?
We're doing good. How about yourself?
Man, pretty good. I want to touch on something y'all said earlier. You were trying to tell everybody, Jackson State ain't gonna run through everybody again next year, and it's true. It's just like y'all, like Golden State when they were beating everybody. Eventually, everybody catch up to you, and you have injuries. I tell people all the time, you're only as good as your staff. So you got a good staff around you. They make you look good sometimes. Now, don't get it twisted. Dion is a good coach, but you're only as good as your staff. He showed everybody when he was out surgery that the staff held it down for him.
Mm-hmm.
So in order for the rest of these teams to be able to compete, their staff got to be better. And just like the gentleman said earlier, he said if it was just Dion going against the coach, the other coach from the Celebration Bowl, he said I'd pick the other coach just by experience alone. He said, but he got a good staff.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all about the staff, and your staff is help. Dion gonna recruit alone because it's Dion. Yeah, people can say, oh yeah, he likes Nick Saban. He like Nick Saban as far as notoriety, but he ain't built it up yet. He's trying to get there.
Mm-hmm.
But we all know he's not going to stay there very long. But at the same time, I'm like you and Mr. Hemmingway. Everybody was put on notice this year. When they played them in the spring, he said, oh, wait till the fall. And everybody like, oh, we playing right now. Then they got to the fall. They saw what happened. They like, okay. He put everybody on notice. Like you said, everybody going to come back. They're going to be ready. And I expect the games to be a lot better going into next year. And I expect a lot of parity. And some of them close games they won this year, I don't think they're going to win them next year.
That's how football works.
What you guys think?
No, I man, appreciate the call, though. We'll answer your question.
Well, I mean, that's football. I mean, there's a reason why you don't have a lot of repeat champions in any sport because it's not easy to repeat. It's just not. Kudos to the people that are able to do it. But it's not easy to repeat. Jackson State's going to have a huge target on their back. And I mean, even the players or the teams that people thought may have rolled over, they didn't. I mean, Mississippi Valley was right there in that game to take that game. Southern was in that game to take that game. FAMU lost by 1 point. You know, not to mention Jackson State doesn't have a kicker. So
they're gonna have one next year. Ooh,
these things come down to a lot of different things. But let me say, I'm fully expecting the rest of the Swac to recruit. I want to see what's going to happen at Grambling and Prairie View. And it's going to be on and popping. These people, nobody wants to see their team get mollywopped every year. People are going to look to try to take that trophy away from Dion because the ante is up. People are going to be watching. And I'm looking forward to an even greater year in the SWAC come 2022.
That's what's up. All right, let's take another caller. Hey, caller, you live? Talk to us.
Yo, can you hear me?
Yeah, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, I'm Dan. I'm calling from Fayetteville, man.
Talk to you.
Hey, check this out. I got to say a couple things. Keontae Hampton is the man. He is the defensive player of the year to me. Got robbed.
Is that a question or a comment? Because I don't agree, but go ahead.
Well, that was a comment. But my question is this, and it's for both of you guys. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Mr. Hemmingway, what team in SWAC history has ever won the SWAC with a bad offensive line, an unreliable field goal kicker, and they led the conference in penalties?
Jackson State has an average. I know that people are hard on their line, but they were good enough for them to win. So I don't know how bad. I would say that the defensive lines in the SWAC were worse than their offensive lines for the most part, with the exception of Southern and FAMU. So that doesn't necessarily mean a whole lot in regards to Jackson State's line. But, I mean, Jackson State's defense, you win champion.
What are you talking realistically winning games when you have all of that going against you?
That's not going against you. And I think that, I give credit where credit is due. It seems like you want me to just give Jackson State a bunch of kudos. I mean, it was a great team. They have a great defense, and that's ultimately
like when you watch a football game.
We about to hang up on you if you interrupt me one more time.
A team that's penalized like that.
Hey,
they have a bad field goal kicker.
Hey, hold on. Let me.
What are your chances of winning games?
Hey, listen. If you're gonna ask a freaking question, can we respond to your question without you cutting us off?
Oh, because I could barely hear you guys.
But we can hear you though. But we trying to respond to the question.
Oh, okay.
All right, go ahead, Mr. Kofi.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, I'll just make a quick statement real quick. When you're watching football, usually a team that's penalized, bad offensive line play, and doesn't have a field goal kicker, their chances of winning games are slim.
You're absolutely right. Absolutely right. Thank you for the call.
That's just football 101.
Yeah, you're right. Go ahead. Go ahead, Mr. Kofi.
Jackson State had a decent quarterback who was able to make big plays at the right time, and their defense has been lights out all year long against very mediocre offensive schemes. So the games never came down to their kicker having to make freaking field goals. So, I mean, it is what it is. I don't think Jackson State's offensive line was as bad as, they weren't great. They weren't superb, but they weren't sucky either.
Fact.
So, there you have it.
Hey, caller, you live. Talk to me.
Hey, what's up, bro? This Terry, bro, from Memphis, bro.
Talk to me.
I just want to say one thing real quick. Okay, so Southern hired Dooley as their head coach, right?
Correct.
Okay, so I know all the Southern fans, they happy about Dooley being the head coach. However, they're going to be on his head if he lose to Valley the way he lost at TV. That's all I got to say.
That is so true.
Facts.
That is so, listen. Play that game again if you want to. Oh, that game didn't matter. We had to lose. Okay. It goes twofold. Let me say this. It goes twofold. One, if the conference is locked up and Southern is going into the championship, You're gonna have half Southern fans talking about, oh, Scotty, it didn't matter. Oh my God, we're good. We're going to the Swac championship. Then you're gonna have the other fans who are football guys say, hey, that's not a good look. You shouldn't go, you shouldn't do stuff like that. So I think it's gonna be a hit or miss with that. But I absolutely agree with Terry on that one. Like, play that card again if you want to. See how that go for you. That's funny. That's real.
But look, Valley is coming. Valley is coming, bro. They got a defense. They got a team that believes in their coach. Delta Devil Nation is waking up. They're seeing the possibilities. This team is going to be, you're going to have to play good or play well to beat Mississippi Valley. It's not going to be, you're not walking in that game like, okay, we just going to win.
Facts. Big facts.
So straight up.
Hey, caller, you loud. Talk to us.
Not going to be.
Hey, Scotty.
What's good? What's your name? Where you call from?
Good?
Yeah. What's your name? Where you call from? Turn your background down for us.
Okay, this is Marvin, man, calling from Shreveport.
Talk to me.
I want to say three things. First of all, I want to say congratulations to Jackson State. I think Jackson State did a great job this year. You guys are absolutely right. Everybody go recruit. Everybody gonna get better. So Jackson gonna have to prove themselves again next year. The second thing, I think Dooley was a great hire for Southern. And why I say that, in the college game, it's all about recruit. You have to be able to recruit and get kids in the facilities so that you can be successful. With him and Dooley at Prairie View, even though he did a great job recruiting, Prairie View is an academic university. They focus more on academics than they do athletics. Those presidents, that's what they're about. The second, my third thing, I'm a Grambling graduate. Who would be the next coach at Grambling? I think that's a slider. Who will we get to be successful? I've heard Ed Reed. I've heard this name. I do like the idea what Scotty just indicated, that we hired a firm to try to get the right person in there. Politics have not worked so well for us. So hopefully that we can get the right person in there. But I will say this right here.
Mm-hmm.
Out of 40 years in watching the SWAC is more balanced than I have ever seen. You have to play every Saturday. If you don't play every Saturday, you're going to get beat. Whether it's Valley, Texas Southern, or whoever, you have to come to play. So coaches are raising their stake.
I like that. And who I would like to see at Grambling, okay, I'm gonna take my SWAC hat off real quick, right? My SWAC hat off, I would love to see Ed Reed. I would freaking love to see. Listen, I would take that G off that trash bag so fast and get me a Grambling shirt. You best believe I would be like, let's go, Graham, because I want to see. Like you said, I want to see disparity. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm here for the football. Point blank period. I'm here for the football. Putting my SWAC bandwagon hat back on, I think you're gonna go with a Grambling man, somebody who's been around the program, somebody who's been encased in it, or touched Eddie Robinson sooner or later. Like, so I don't know, man.
That's fear talking, man. That's fear.
I think how they feel about Jesus touched the hem of his garment. Oh, you talked to Eddie Robinson? Yeah, come on, coach for us. So I think it's gonna be something like that. But I would hope it's a celebrity coach. Go ahead,
Scott. I think we're gonna surprise you. I don't think it's gonna be no one that been in the four before. I think we're gonna surprise you. I think about having an AD from Southern.
Oh,
the president want to try somebody new.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're gonna surprise you.
I'm gonna say, I mean, there's a lot of quality coaching candidates that are out there. My man that's at Moseby State is still available. Rod Reed is available. Ed Reed is available. Frazier is available. You got a number of people out there that have coaching experience that are definitely interested. Rod Woodson is also available. Damian Craig is available. So you've got a number. They've got a large pool. It's what I would say for Grambling is I want to see the Grambling Knights do more to support their program year round. And I think that you've got a core group of people that are there. But for me, by now, and Grambling has such an illustrious history, people talk about the hole, but every time I look in the hole, it's only a few people there, except when it's homecoming, which tells me that culture has to make a little shift if they're going to see next level consistency begin to manifest at Grambling.
And I strongly agree. I live here in Shreveport, and I think you bring up a great point. But you have to take into consideration that is a rural area. Most Grambling graduates have moved to the inner city and things like that. So, I mean, you have to take that into consideration. If they stayed in the Ruston area, then that would be fine. Yeah, I live here in Shreveport. Yeah, I can go to games, but when you got the Dallas area and Houston area like that, you have to take all that into consideration because Grambling, I've always said, even when I got my BS and master there, it's just one big block. It's just a rural area. And one of my professors used to always say, you know, everybody can't work in Grambling, which is true. Everybody cannot work in Grambling. But I would love to see the stands full with the we don't have but 3 home games. I'm quite sure you guys know that. But that's high school day, homecoming, and one more. But I would love to see the stand full with just those 3 games. So, but I think we're gonna shock y'all. I don't think it's gonna be an Eddie Robinson or a treat like you think it is. I think it's gonna be someone new and fresh.
Hey, appreciate
But I
the call.
do think Dooley was a great hire for Southern. I really do.
That's what's up. Hey, thank you so much for the call. Appreciate it. All right, Joe. Hey, what's up, Joe? Talk to me.
What's going on, Scott? I'm gonna be real quick on that Grambling situation. I would like the historian, Mr. Ford, to call in and give us his take on who Grambling should hire, because he always giving takes on everybody else who they should hire. So, Mr. Ford, if you're listening, call back in and tell me what's going on at Grambling.
I like that. All right, appreciate the call, Joe. You know, and Mr. Ford is my natural historian. You know, so I got you, Mr. Ford. You guys are my historians.
Let's go.
Yeah. Hey, caller, you live. Talk to me.
Yeah, Mr. Scotty, how you doing? First off, my name is Willie K.C. Sweets from Kansas City. I'm a Prairie View alumni.
Talk to me.
I enjoy your calls tonight. And quickly, I'd just like to say that, first off, congratulations to Dion and JSU. A win for them is a win for the entire Swac conference. And number 2, I just want to let you know that the KJ Black rumors, the Prairie View alumni is very, very strong because he was our championship quarterback in 2009 when we won the Swac championship.
So,
and then people forget Mr. Simmons came. He was our original coach at Prairie View before he went to Florida A&M. So therefore, there's a strong tie there. So I just think it's looking more toward KJ Black than Sumlin. I just think that we won't. I don't think that Prairie View is really warm on Kevin Sumlin, but we are really strong on KJ Black because he's basically our native son, and we just want him to come back.
What? But does that make him a great head coach? Like that's
you got to give him a chance. Look at Mr. Marcus Freeman at Notre Dame. We don't know what kind of great coach he's gonna.
You know what kind of resources he has? You know what Notre Dame is bringing when it comes to resources, and he's been ingratiating that program for the past 2 or 3 years. So he knows all the recruits in there and out of there that's coming in and out. He knows the team inside and out, and the team wanted him as well. You see what I'm saying?
But I don't think Mr. KJ Black is going to have a problem recruiting in the Houston, Texas area and the Dallas, Texas area.
Why is that?
I mean, Texas, bar none, is still the greatest recruiting resource. You got colleges all over the nation come and recruit in the state of Texas.
Why would
and that will not change anytime soon.
You're not answering the question though. Why would he not have a problem? Everybody has a problem recruiting in Texas. Like you're not the only school recruiting in Texas. You see what I'm saying? So why would he not have a problem?
Scotty, but we know who KJ Black is. It's not like he doesn't have a name brand.
No,
he was our Swac. He was our winning Swac quarterback in 2009.
Sir, just because alums and PV alums know who he is, he has no cachet outside the PV area. The PV, no, he can't walk in Dallas High School and be like, I'm KJ Black. You know who I am? They're going to be like a tall black man. What are you talking about?
I disagree, Mr. I know I disagree with that because, like I said, we have not won the Swac championship since he quarterback. So he has a name brand as a player.
Sir, I graduated in 2007, okay? He won it in 2009. Do you think kids in 2022 are going to know who KJ Black is in the Dallas school district? I just want you to I want you to be very honest with me. 13 years.
A great coach is a great coach, no matter where he comes from or what background he has.
Let that man be hyped, man. Let him be hyped by KJ.
Coach Dooley. But my question is, where did Coach Dooley come from? He was offensive coordinator at Grambling, right? He had to have been given a head coaching chance. What I'm saying is, you don't have to have head coaching experience to be a future successful great coach. You just need an opportunity,
sir. I agree with you on that, but the way you're making KJ come off as is that he has a brand. KJ Black does not have a brand. He has
okay, all right. Well, I meet you halfway on that, but I still say give the young man a chance like we gave Coach Dooley. Look what kind of coach Dooley became.
Listen, man. Listen. Let me tell you this. Okay, I'm gonna leave it like this is strictly alumni rooting for their own alumni. This is all it is. Because KJ Black, if we're being honest, has not proven anything. He hasn't proven anything. Dooley has won a championship everywhere he's been as offensive coordinator. Can you name me the last offensive coordinator championship KJ Black has won? Don't worry, I'll wait.
He's been under the legendary Willie Simmons at Florida A&M right now.
No, he's legendary.
Florida A&M is not a slouch program, sir. He's a part of that success.
Now Willie Simmons is legendary. Boy, y'all I see how alums get hired because y'all alumni, boy, y'all be pumping some people up.
When was
y'all be
in the last 3 or 4, sir, but look at the numbers, Scotty. In the last 3 years, when has Florida A&M and Willie Simmons had a losing record?
They haven't.
Never.
That's what I'm saying. So what I'm saying is it's not like he has a slouch of a program for A&M. He was successful at Prairie View before that. So I don't buy the fact. I don't buy the argument that KJ is not ready. I think he will be ready. And with the resources that Prairie View has, you do know that Prairie View is one of the richest Swac schools around. Do you? We're known for engineering. We're known for endowments and different things that we get from Nassau and other different places. Oh, we got the money. We just need the right personnel and the right administration.
So you've had the money since 2009. What's happened? Don't worry, I'll wait. You've had the money since 2009. Don't worry, I'll wait.
But we have not won the SWAC championship since 2009, but we have winning records ever since then, sir.
Okay.
Look at the record. You just Google it. It's on Google.
So is winning. So I get what you're saying. You just want a winning record. Okay, KJ Black can give you that. Yeah, KJ Black can probably give you a winning record. That's okay.
You know, like I said, put some respect on that name. Now we are serious competitors every year since 2009. So we just need the right young leader to lead us further. Listen, and I think KJ Black is that young man.
Let me tell you this. I don't know what job you do, but if you ever want to do representation, you can represent me any day. Because you can make somebody look real good real quick.
I think he's the obvious choice. I really do. I mean, take alumni aside, as if I was just like working in administration, and I had a vetting coaches, young coaches, and I want to give a first-time coach a chance, he would be the obvious choice.
It makes sense. It does make sense because he has ties to PV. So I'm not trying to be sarcastic, but no, that does make sense. But what?
Yeah, he's a native son. We want our native son to come home, and he does have a modicum of success. I think that will be enough, and we will be patient enough for him to get the new juggernaut of PV in, like the legendary William Billy J. Nix had when he coached years ago.
Hey, that's what's up, man. Hey, listen, when KJ Black gets hired, you can call back in and be like, I told you, Scotty. Listen, I'll just let you rant and rave. I'll let you rant and rave all day long.
Yeah, because I tell you, Mr. Scotty, PV wants him. The alumni wants him.
That's all right. All right. We'll see. Hey, appreciate the call, man.
All right. But I love your show. Just keep doing what you're doing. God bless you.
God bless you. Boy, listen. The more I get involved in this Swac, Mr. Kofi, the more I understand how alumni get hired.
Listen,
alumni like that.
Listen, that's how I go. Listen, and they have access to all the leaders. No, for real, bro. Like you can be at your Piccadilly or a local restaurant, and the alums be in at a time when it's trying to hire a coach, and you be sitting there trying to eat your baked chicken or whatever it is you order. They're coming over to your table and they're going to pull up a chair and they're going to try to have a conversation with you straight up.
Man,
absolutely.
That was real. Hey, what's up, man?
That was heartfelt, man. That was heartfelt.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, caller, you live. Talk to us.
Hey, Hey, so
Listen, hold on. Before you go, you pretty long-winded, so keep it short and sweet. All right, keep
Okay.
it short and sweet.
Now, so what's considered winning a successful season for Dooley, and how much time you think they're gonna give him to get it right? Because Odoms was winning. But whatever you say about Odoms, he was winning.
Listen.
So, what's considered a winning season for Dooley, and how long you think they're gonna give him?
Listen, bro, I'm gonna give him the same standard I gave Jason Rollins. Your floor, your minimum is the SWAC championship. I don't give a damn what you talk about, because he was going back to back to back. He was losing to Alcorn, but he was there. So you have a team to compete, especially in the West. So listen, your floor is the SWAC championship. Anything less than that, you didn't do good. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Southern has championship aspirations. It's a blue blood historical program. They want championships. So anything less than 8-3 is not going to get it done. There are no bowl games outside of the Celebration Bowl for Southern University. So they have to find a way. And again, that's just not going to be easy. They've got FAMU. They've got Jackson State, who's on that schedule. They still have to beat Grambling. We don't know who's going to be there. Prairie View kicked their tail last year. Texas Southern is coming up. They beat them. Alcorn is not going to take that loss that they took this year lightly either, bro. It's a tough schedule for good old Southern University. That ain't gonna be no easy. That ain't gonna be no cakewalk.
Yeah, man, that's a great question. But for me, this is not a rebuilding program. Like, that's why I can't like, if he was going to a UAPB, I'd be like, oh God, yeah, you got at least give about 3 years. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yeah, you got.
Yeah, but do they have the players to get the wins and play the style that he needs to play? You know what I'm saying? Like, you're talking about two different.
That's what the transfer portal is. That's number one. And number two, I don't give a damn. No. The floor, your floor is the SWAC. The same way I said Rollins walking into that job, he need to take you to the SWAC championship or he needs to be fired. I'm on Dooley's ass too, bro. The transfer portal is hot. Your team is not bad. So you just need to plug and play a few players, bring some guys from PV over to the school, have them transfer, come on over.
You made Petey get up out of that chair and say positive stuff about you. They got to win, and they got to win quick, but that ain't going to be no guarantee. It's a tough schedule again.
Man, yeah, they're going to have to deal with that. But, hey, any other questions?
Okay. Nah, that's it. I just wanted to see, how long of a leash I think he's going to have.
Hey, yeah. I mean, well, I will say this. To answer that question, I think they're going to give him a hell of a long leash. He going to get about 6 years, 7 years easy.
God damn.
No, for real, because that's like the prodigal son coming back home. So they're going to give him his time. But for me, you need to.
It depends. I want to say, though, it depends on how this thing goes. If he loses to Alcorn, Texas Southern, Jackson State, FAMU, and Grambling again, that's 5 losses. He ain't gonna have a long leash.
That's very much.
Especially if that happens the first 2 years. And it's a good possibility that could happen.
All right, appreciate the call. I disagree. I really do, because this is the guy Roman Banks. This is the guy Roman Banks wanted. All right, that's what the guy he got in. So of course he's going to get a 4-year contract. Most coaches do get a 4-year contract, whatever. But
they screw around, bro. And Kevin Sumlin goes to Prairie View. Now this is just hypothetical because ain't nobody at Prairie View right now. But they get Kevin Sumlin. Kevin Sumlin comes in, beats Southern every year. Grambling gets Ed Reed. They beat Southern every year. FAMU continues its winning streak. They beat Southern every year. Alcorn normally wins that game, bruh. Is not going to be a cakewalk. And here's the thing that everybody loves Dooley, blah, blah, blah. His teams are just inconsistent from what I've seen. They play a big game every now and then. They play a real good game every now and then. When you are at Southern University, you got to win consistently. I haven't seen it yet. I think he's a good hire. I do think he's going to be able to get a higher caliber athlete quickly. But again, the SWAC West or just the SWAC period is not going to be a cakewalk.
All right. What's up, Mr. Campbell? Talk to me.
Man, I got to come in here, and my man from Prairie View, he was like, this is Cleophas Roosevelt Jones, class of 56. Now, I knew KJ Black grandfather back in the day. You know what I'm saying? That's a good old young boy. I love them guys like that, man. That man probably been giving Prairie View money every month when he had to mail the money in. Before they had direct deposit, he was sending that money in with postage stamps donate. So that boy know how to support his team, man. Get off that man, bro. I love it. I'm an old head now. See, I used to give FAMU shit. I got old. Now I'm an old head. I'm like, man, let me go and get FAMU money so I can talk shit. You know what I'm saying? Like that. Class of 93. I remember back when we had Quinn Gray. Kofi know about that. We had Quinn Gray back in 99. That's what the old heads do, man. Let the old heads go. But anyway, man, let me get on this thing about a couple of things about Dooley and what the guys talking about recruiting. With the Swac, and see, this is the thing, what Deion's done incredible. The way the Swac has to recruit, you have to recruit through the chain. What that means is you get a couple of guys at a high school, and you know what? You tell their boys, hey, man, we having a good time up here. You need to come. That's how that chain happens. That's why you see all of a sudden you see 5 or 6 guys from certain high schools going to these schools, because that's what I do. These guys have to actually recruit their other teammates. Hey, man, you don't want to go there. Come on over here. You'll be able to play. So that's the thing I think Dooley will probably be able to do in the New Orleans area is get that chain recruiting going and start building that up. Now, the next thing, I'm just going to say this because, you know, I'm very objective. When everybody talking about Jackson State not going to have a good team next couple of years, well, my question is how many teams in Swac are actually going to have good quarterbacks? Because you want to tell you what I saw? All the other teams had quarterbacks that lost games. Jackson State had a quarterback that could win a game. And see, that is going to be the big separator next year because you're going to look at A&M, Alabama A&M, quarterback transition. Alcorn, quarterback transition. Southern, quarterback transition. Alabama State, quarterback transition. Yeah. We don't know what we're going to do with our quarterback.
That's real.
Guess who's got a quarterback that they know they're going to do with? Jackson State.
Yeah, that's real.
And they're going to know he's going to be better. So this is the thing that Jackson State, and I've seen this before, boys talk about this. Jackson State getting ready to make a run because every great HBCU team, when they make that run, when they have a quarterback and they got a defense. And Jackson State, all them boys, like Killer Cam, they got that defensive tackle, they got that linebacker, they got cornerbacks. All them boys is young, man. All them cats are going to grow up. And then their wide receivers, so those guys are going to be able to grow up together. That is going to be the difference. Now, with FAMU, what I'm hoping is that we're going to be able to get in that portal, and we have been able to develop players. So that's the thing. And now I'm going to make one last statement, then I'm going to jump off about coaching. Because, Scotty, people get on you all the time when you talk about coaching. But I'm going to tell y'all, and I text Scotty this. I'm going to give y'all a team that had the #1 recruiting classes, that was supposed to have the all-time greatest defense, and got their ass waxed because Kirby Smart is a recruiter and he's not a coach. And guess what? And they're tearing Paul Finebaum tore his ass up, just like Scotty does sometimes. Hey, man, these coaches, it's hard to find 2 things, good coaches and good quarterbacks. Because you can find a recruiter, but you can't always find a good coach that do that talent. Ask Georgia. That's why they sitting there looking crazy. So the biggest thing now is for the Swac, they have got to get coaches that not only can recruit, but can actually coach. Because we saw too many games in Swac where the coaching decision was like, wait, what's going on here?
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Yeah.
So even that with FAMU. So with FAMU, what I'm hoping that Willie does is not just be an offensive mind and not be a good recruiter. I want Willie to now say, I have got to be a great in-game strategist. That is what's going to make FAMU better. That's what's going to make FAMU competitive with Jackson State. So that's what I'm looking for. But the rest of these teams, you go back and you tell me who their quarterback is going to be next year. I'm not getting on none of them teams, bro, because they don't have any quarterbacks. None of them.
This is the thing. If you know, if you got a situation like PV did, where your backup quarterback is just as bad as your starting quarterback, then yeah, it's not gonna help. But I think a lot of teams are going to hit the transfer portal for products that have already been how do you say used, refurbished? I say refurbished. You know what I'm saying? So I see what you can do. I seen what you have produced at whatever level you're coming from. So I know you can play the position like this. I think going into a year with a freshman quarterback against Jackson State, you don't want them problems. You definitely don't want them problems. But I stand on Quincy Casey. I stand on Andrew Body. I think they're going to be the two most up and coming quarterbacks in the SWAC. Another Quincy down in Valley. They still got TJ Goodwin. I don't know about them per se, but I think a lot of coaches are going to hit the transfer portal for quarterbacks. If I'm being honest, I really do think they are.
Well, that's the biggest thing, because finding a quarterback, and guess what? Everybody's in the transfer portal from 1A, which I still call it, all the way down to 1AA. So, man, we'll see. But like I said, I'm not going to sleep, because, like I say, what Dion and them boys is building, man, that thing about to be funny over there, 1400 Lynn Street. But like I say, FAMU, we're gonna bring it, because I think, and again, this made me think about one other thing, because Kofi can talk about this, and I know we had classmates that graduated with us, and they could not send their guys to FAMU because we wasn't even recruiting them. We had classmates all over Florida that were high school coaches, and FAMU wouldn't even recruit them. So that's the thing now, which I think Dion is forcing all these schools to in-state to talk about recruiting in-state talent, because it's a lot of alums that coach high school in these states. And man, you cannot touch those guys. That's the easiest guys to touch. It's your alums, which I think your boy from Alabama State, the real estate agent, is going to try to do. That's really what he's going to try to do. So, man, we'll see what happens. But once again, Kofi, my brother, I love you. You've done excellent representing the FAMU brand. And Scotty, we're going to keep working with you, brother.
Appreciate you, man.
All right, peace. And that's a good point. I didn't even think about it like that, that a lot of these quarterbacks, these senior quarterbacks are leaving, and you're talking about programs restarting their whole offensive journey all over again with the new guy.
I'm not concerned about Alabama A&M at all. They have somebody that's already there that has some skin in the game. But not only that, I mean, Maynard is a good quarterback coach. He's a good offensive coach. So they're going to be good. Valley's going to be solid. Body's going to be good at Texas Southern. I mean, across the board, I think that, obviously you have to have a quarterback that is competent, that can win you games. And these coaches ain't dumb. They know what they got, and they know what they need to do.
That's facts. All right, take these last three callers. Let me see who was okay, I'll get this one. Hey, caller, you live. Talk to me.
Hello, Scotty. Coach Stewart here.
What's up, Coach?
Look, I've been listening to you for a while now. You like a walking encyclopedia of news, outcomes, and how the game's played, and you know what you're talking about. So tomorrow, I'm starting a petition for you to be the next AD at Southern University.
Come on, talk to me.
And not only that, there's only a few things you got to get yourself ready for that position. That is, your nose got to get long so you can be close to looking like Pinocchio. Because we need a real leader. But since you're here, I want you to explain to me, if you were the coach, what would you change? And what did we do wrong this year?
Okay, so I'm gonna go with what you did wrong this year. What you did wrong this year was, one, you tried to change from a Odom systems to a Rollins systems on defense, and I've heard that from multiple people inside Southern, that Rollins wanted to run his own defensive scheme and that they try to get away from Odom's, but that doesn't make sense. Where that system has been, the players you're trying to switch, they've been in that Odom system for the past 3 or 4 years. Why would you change the defense up? The defense has never been a problem. You know what I'm saying? So that was rule number one. Number two, you had Zach Grossi, a new offensive play caller, and calling all the plays, but he wasn't calling plays to your strength. Sometimes he'll get way out of line, like just throwing the ball around the yard when you're a run first team. Southern's been a run first team since I've been watching them since the spring. So you have to mix in. If you want to be more balanced, that's great. But I think you should always, if Southern should be a 2-1 system. When I mean they should run twice as much as they run. I mean they should run twice as much as they pass. That should have been their, like, you're not asking Bubba to do too much. You're asking him to make certain throws here and there, slants, little outs, ins, and stuff like that. Going forward, what I would do is you got to revamp that wide receiver. Oh, that wide receiver room. Oh, you got to revamp all them both. You got to get all them Bamas out. Like, you got to get some studs in there that can make plays, because why? You've always been a run first team. So those guys haven't been dynamic. So you got to go get you some dynamic receivers. Your O-line is legit. You got running backs for days. I mean, God, dog. I mean, you got like 4 running backs that can start on any other team. So you're good there. And defensively, you just got to get some guys in the safety position and a corner position that can make plays. But I think Southern has a solid team, and that's why my expectation for Dooley is you need to come out and go to the Swac championship because you don't have to do too much to tweak this team to get it back on track and have great play calling and everything like that. What's up, Kofi? Talk to me.
All right, so what Southern did wrong was, the whole continuity was an issue with the changes that they made from one staff to the next. And it seems like it's a little thing, but it's a really big thing because when you change the voices that are speaking, you're changing the language and what's going on and what's happening inside the huddle and out and getting that culture right. They made too many mistakes at the wrong time, and that's not winning Southern University football. Even when you go back to the Pete Richardson days, it wasn't that Pete Richardson was, quote unquote, the offensive guru. The thing was, Southern University did not make mistakes and other teams did. Pete Richardson's teams didn't throw pick sixes. Pete Richardson's teams did not turn the ball over. Pete Richardson's teams would pick off the ball and get turnovers, and they force you to have to play from behind. They played good, solid ball, and they weren't penalized a whole lot. That wasn't the case with Southern University this year. And then you had the whole thing going on with the QBs and who was going to start and who wasn't. It just, that confidence, that Jaguar swag was not there. And all those different things were factors into how they had the season, not to mention that when the schedule came out, even if Odoms had been there, that was still going to be a whale of a gauntlet of a schedule for Southern University to have to navigate.
Hey, appreciate the call. I think he hung up, but appreciate the call. Let me see. Last two callers. Hey, caller, you live. Talk to me.
With the cans. Hold on. Hello?
Yeah, you live. Talk to us.
Hey, what's going on, Scotty? This is Eric from Jersey. We spoke a while back.
Talk to me.
Hey, so I think these ADs need to get out this traditional thing when it comes to the hiring, like what you were talking about with Grambling and Prairie View. Like if you look at like Arizona State, they hired Herm Edwards, who's the face of the program, but they also have Antonio Pierce, who played there. And so when you talk about like KJ Black being a coach there, why don't you do dual hires where you have somebody who's the face of the program, but you also have somebody who is familiar with the program, and you bring those together and bring them as a team? Because if you don't, you're going to get caught up like you. What do you call the SWAC right now? If Deion takes over the Deion Sanders Athletic League or something like that,
the athletic
or whatever yeah. And I'm like, once he leaves, all that vacuum of attention and all that other stuff is going to go with him. And so when you have these other programs that are looking for, like you said with Grambling, go after Ed Reed and maybe go after somebody who's familiar with the program too, and let them team up and be something. And now you have somebody who's the face of the program, along with somebody who has a tradition of the SWAC and the SWAC hours and all that other good stuff. So that's the only point I wanted to make. That I think when it comes to these athletic directors and the hiring.
Hey, appreciate the call, man. That's a great point. Thank you so much. Hey, I like that. I really like, and he's the only person that's called in and said that. So shout out to Eric for that, man. I actually love that point that you hire a face of a program. If you do go get a celebrity coach and then you bring in like let's say you go get an Ed Reed, but you bring in a Devontae Kincaid. You know what I'm saying? Like that merges both platforms. You bring it. You're touching both
perfectly.
Come on, man. You're touching the heartstrings of alums because of Devontae Kincaid, and then you get a big name like a Ed Reed that can bring people in. I think it's dope, man. I really like that concept. But I think more schools should definitely look into doing stuff like that. I think that helps both both sides of the fence out. You got people who want change, and then you got people that want that home cooking. But yeah, I love it. I absolutely love that. All right, last caller. Hey, what's up, caller? You live? Talk to me. Hey, caller, you live? Talk to me. Hello?
They clicked over.
All right. Hey, I think that was Terry. Hey, Terry, call back in. Your call's not going through. Oh, here you go. Hey, caller, you live? Talk to me. Terry. Bro, fix your phone, Terry. What we doing? Call back in one more time. But yeah, so as Terry calls back in one more time, hopefully this phone line it works. Let me see.
Man, you see, I mean, Southern plays, you know they play LSU next year, right?
Yeah, we all know it's a loss.
I mean, I get it, but you got that mixed in with that tough, crazy SWAC schedule, bro. So they're playing everybody that they played this year plus LSU. So whew.
All right, Terry, you live. Talk to me.
All right, what's up, bro?
What's good?
So, okay, so I'm going to add to what I said about if Dooley lose to Mississippi Valley, right? It's the same way when Jackson State fired Comergy because he was making it to the SWAC championship, but he wasn't winning it. And then when Comergy went to Mississippi Valley State and the coach at the current time lost to Mississippi Valley State to Comergy, they fired him the next day. And I also want to speak on the caller that called in talking about the hotbed. Bro, Mississippi is known, far as I know, is known for junior college. So a lot of junior colleges in Mississippi, as far as Jones, Gulfport, Southwest,
Independent,
CCC,
Indy, Indy.
It's a lot of. So what now?
No, I was just saying I was naming Delta Auto. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it's a lot of junior colleges in Mississippi. So, in my opinion, I feel like that Coach Prime should build an alliance with a junior college in Mississippi and say, okay, well, hey, you know what? You don't have the grades to come to Jackson State, but you can go to Jones, or you can go to Hines, or you can go to CCC, or you can go to Gulfport and then come to Jackson State.
Okay.
That's also part of recruiting.
Okay, hold on. So, okay. So you're saying Jackson State needs to make his own G League, pretty much.
Right.
Like, why?
Why? Okay, because in my opinion, I say that because it's a lot of great players that don't have the grade to go to the Power 5 or to the University of Memphis or to the Penn State. So, you know what? Dion was recruiting them anyway, hypothetically speaking, in what I'm saying. Okay, so you know what? I'm recruiting you, go to Jones and then come to Jackson State.
Oh, okay. So let me give you a scenario, because this is realistically. You send a kid down to G League, right? You have no contract.
Do it every year.
Listen. You send a kid down to the G League. You're telling him, hey, get your stuff together. You will come back. He has an outstanding season. Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Alabama, Auburn come knocking at his door. Now he has options. Everybody loves options. That does not mean he's going to Jackson State. So you're playing with fire if you think that's just going to work for you.
Okay, so I'm gonna tell you this. As far as the salesman, okay, so I work in the sales industry, right? And people don't sell from people don't buy from people that they don't have a rapport with. I don't care if it's Auburn, Mississippi State, Penn State. If I have a rapport with you and I'm talking to you on a daily basis, I'm 9 times out of 10 going to buy what you selling.
Sir, once again, you have to understand the kids that you're dealing with. You can have all the rapport you want, but if I, as a Power 5 school, offer you something that Dion cannot offer you, there is a high possibility. There's a high possibility you won't go to Jackson State. It's a high one, because at the end of the day, And let's be real. Like let's be 100% real, because it's happened. Alvin Kamara left Alabama, went JUCO, went to Tennessee, right? So I'm not like I'm not saying players don't, like, great players don't come down. Cam Newton, Aaron Rodgers, JUCO players are they've become pros. So if I've been at JUCO dealing with scraps, I mean, like, nobody talks good about JUCO. They're like, yo, it's like dog eat dog. And you have a Power 5 program that can walk into your face and say, hey, like, this, that, and the third, I want to do this. There's not too many nuggets that's going to get flipped from Georgia. Okay? There's not too many of those that's going to happen. I'm not saying it won't. I'm just telling you, you have a high likely that it won't. All I'm saying is you're playing with fire. I'm not saying it can't work. I'm not saying it will work. I'm just saying Deion is playing with fire if you do that.
And I mean, you're right. And all I'm saying is whoever has the better rapport with that student athlete at that time. And I don't care if you Alabama. Hey, you know what? Sometimes you just have to chalk it up as an L. But at the same time, I'm just saying, bro. Like you just have to. I mean, they go back to marketing. It's marketing. That's all it is. It's like, bro, hey, you know what? I put you in a good situation. I want you to come to Jackson State or whatever. You chose to go somewhere else. However, at the same time, Jackson State also needs to, build their facilities up so they can compete with those Power 5s or those, Auburn or whatever school that may come knocking at his door. So it won't turn him away. It's marketing.
Oh, hey Terry, hey man, I listen. Like J. Cole said, $1 in a dream. I appreciate the call though. All right, listen, bro. Listen, this Stead Hopper comment right here. So be it. Take a chance, nothing to lose. You shitting me, right? Because if I'm being honest, if I'm Dejan Nugget right now, I'm hot as fish grease. I'm sorry. Listen. I'm sorry. If I'm Dejan Nugget, I'm hot as fish grease, because I could be playing in a New Year's 6 bowl, and I'm in the Celebration Bowl. Listen. I'm sorry. Y'all can call me, Scotty, white man's ISIS coder. You can say all that shit you want. But if I'm Dejan Nugget right now, I'm not in the best mood. I'm going to take this one last caller because he's a member. Other than that, I'm closing the lines that after you. Hey, Terrence, you're live. Talk to me.
What's going on, Scotty?
Talk to me.
No, but hey, I'm gonna just go come in on what Terry said. I'm not saying telling Jackson State to do that. I'm not doing that at all, because I remember I graduated Jones Jr. in '99, and I played with a kid named Javon Walker. And Florida State used to always send like their kids that wasn't able to pass grades to Jones Jr. and they played with us on the national title championship. I'm not telling Jackson State to do that. I'm not, because they're not Florida State. They're not Miami, nor are they Georgia. Now, if I'm Nugget, I'm upset right now because I came to Jackson State and I could have had a chance to compete for the national title. So, hey, Jackson State, junior players.
Hey, man, I gotta let him go. I gotta let you go, man. Your phone is breaking up really bad. I'm so sorry. I'm closing the phone lines down though. But go ahead.
I was trying to understand what he was saying.
His phone was breaking up really, really bad.
Okay. So let me see if I understand this. What are they saying about this whole JUCO thing?
That Deion should partner with a JUCO to get talent, I'm assuming. I don't know.
I mean, every coach in America is trying to recruit JUCOs if you know if you know that you have to win fast. It's not just a partnership, and it's not a guarantee, because other schools, not only your FCS schools, but your FBS schools are going to go after the top talent. So, I mean, yeah.
This is, and Ryan, listen, man, look at James Houston going, you don't know that. like, do we want James to be drafted? Absolutely. Yes. Do I think James should be drafted? Absolutely. Do we know if he's going to be drafted? No, we don't. That's the cookie. That's the way the cookie crumbles.
It's a lot of pressure on the NFL to go after HBCU players, especially after Deion put them on blast last year. And I think that Houston definitely is worthy, but we got to go through a draft to see what their methodology is, what they're thinking, going forward, because when you get drafted in these rounds, you get paid more money. So if I can get the same guy undrafted as an undrafted free agent and know he's going to make my team, that's just the way some of these NFL executives do. It's not 15, 16 rounds in the NFL anymore. It's just 7. And so now you've got an additional league, with USFL. So these guys are going to have options. So I don't feel sorry for any of them. I think they're going to be fine.
It is what it is. Kofi, go ahead. Hit them with y'all doing something on Wednesday for the.
Absolutely.
Go ahead.
Yes, sir. So the ONG Strike Zone is going to be on Wednesdays at 8:00 p.m. ONG Strike Zone, 8:00 p.m. on Wednesdays as we go into our recruiting season, deal with basketball, Olympic sports, and whatever the latest news in the HBCU sports world regarding FAMU.
That is what's up. Hey, man, make sure y'all check him out on the ONG Strike Zone where they strike, and strike again.
I'm glad you finally got it down now. And if I can get you to throw a snake or two, boy, we'll be up in there.
Yeah, that's never going to happen. But yeah.
Never say never. It's coming.
No, it's never going to happen. Never. That is not my thing. All right, but listen, guys, until next time, you know what I'm going to do. I'm going to holler. God bless.
Love you guys.
Peace.